Perfect. 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 Perfect.
Yeah. Well, all right. Like you always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. #1 sports talking D. We ain't like the Falcons, we won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies and the vets, players you should look at. It's the sports coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Peyton, New Orleans, who that nation? Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the Sports Coma, all we know is say Super Bowl. Yeah.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Who that, fam? What it do, fam? What's good with it? Who that to the beautiful black and gold in the building? What up to the fam in the building? What up, fam? Good to see you, fam. Sports Coma fam is live in effect in the building, family. Good to see all the beautiful black and gold family members in the building. Big ups to the family on this magnificent Saturday. Coming at the family relatively late today, had a lot to do. I was throwing down, cooking, had to pick up stuff, get the dog. All kind of mishmash. And of course, your boy birthday going down tomorrow on Sunday. Of course, we got the fight coming up tonight with Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, part 2. You know, I'm a big boxing man. You know, I love that. I'd like to give a big shout out to all the beautiful black and gold family members in the building. You know, this is family day, parades, all kind of stuff going on. So I'd like to thank the family for joining me on the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. And like I always customarily say, welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. And we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports family. I'm Big Q. This is the Sports Coma Live number 91. 91, man. 91 of the live shows. And of course, for those who don't know, the Sports Coma been in existence for over 5 years, covering the black and gold with what I would term as real Saints talk. Nobody talks quite like the great Saints think tank known as the Sports Coma, baby. We engage them every chance we get. We critical think, and we are far from docile Saints observers and family members, no doubt about it. Ain't no docileness over here. You ain't gonna do what you want to do over here without getting some critical analysis done on your ass. Big ups to the family members in the building. Kevin, what up, Kev? My dog Kevin in the building, aka GM Kev. That's my dog nickname from now on. Again, General Manager Kevin is in the building, family. Big ups to my boy. I'll tell you what, if Kevin was running the Saints, man, I tell you what, bro, they'll be pretty nice, man. Kevin got some good ideas. It says, am I at the parade? No, I ain't at the parade, fam, but shit, feel like the way I was running around, I was at the parade. Dada, who that to your school? What happened at school? My dog Scoob in the building. Dada in the building. Verlin, what up, Verlin? Good to see you. New iPad, who that to you, fam? Says, hello, Big Q. It's great to hear from you. Same with you, fam. Good to see you on the live chat as well. Let's see who else we got in the building. Dada says, hit the button when you roll through, please. That's right. Please hit the like button, family, as you're chiming in. We got a lot of family members in the building. Please feel free to hit the like button. It helps out the show exponentially. Trail Hat, shoot that to you. I see you, Trail. Big ups to you, fam. Been a while, Trail. Big ups to you. Let's see who else we got. Paul, who that to you? Paul, I see you there. The historian Paul is in the building as well. Big ups to the family member. Joey and Isabella, my dog, is in the building. Good to see from my fam as well. Big ups to you, Joey and Isabella. Jesse Jackson is in the building. What's up, Jesse? How you doing, fam? Let's see who else we got. Randy Major. What up, Randy? How you doing, fam? Good to see Randy in the building. Who that to you as well? I pass this Big Q. Thanks for bringing the family together, man. It's an honor to see the great and intelligent, beautiful, great Saints think tank people come together. Man, I try to bring them together as often as I can. It's a very shaky times for the black and gold, man. We need the family to come through and make sense of it, because a lot of the newspaper items I find and articles online just create more confusion, more questions than answers, no doubt about it. Okay, let's feel good to keep going on with the family. That's who else we got there. Kevin, big ups to my dogs. Well, Cool. What up to you, Cool? Big ups to you. Let's see. Verlin says, true that, Scoob, and the rest of the family chiming in as well. I see Revolt Control. What up, Revolt? My dog Revolt in the building as well. Thank you, Paul, for that. Happy birthday, fam. Thank you, fam. Big ups to you as well. Let's see who else. Devin. What up, Devin? Big, long time no see, fam. Good to see you in the chat. Devin in the building. Chris Moorhead. Who that to you, Chris? He says we're going to be all right, Q. That's right, fam. No doubt about it. Tyrone Jones. What up, Tyrone? Big ups to your family. Who that to you, fam? Good to see you in the chat as well. And all the beautiful Black and Gold family members, welcome to the Sports Coma on this Saturday night. A little different than our regular pace is we come at you at noonish every Sunday. But then again, with all the events shaping and happening, we're good to see how the Sports Coma looks on a Saturday night. You know, it's a kind of a unintended, I guess I see what you call it, a beta test of what is. Dallas Allen. What up, Dallas? I see your family. Dallas says fresh out the shower, Saints gearhead to the toe. Who that, fam? Good to see you, Dallas. Big up to your family in the building. Man, I'm howling at the family members. Good to see all y'all in the building as well. Now, on today's show's family, I'd like to thank all y'all for joining us in Sportscom. Today's show is listed as the Saints free agency preview and more. Of course, I wanted to talk about some preview items dealing with the free agency. And of course, that's a lot of talk about who's available, who the Saints should get, what does it look like. You know, my dog Kev sent me some stuff via Telegram for me to look at, and I looked at some stuff. He was proposing Chris Jones. Not quite certain if they have the money to go after Jones. He's going to get a nice chunk of change, but then again, we don't know exactly how that's going to work. Who that to you, Tim Russ, my dog Tim Russ in the building. Appreciate to see you there, family. My dog Tim in the building as well. But yeah, I know, Paul, it's a good change up. I think it's a lot of family members were saying that as well, like doing a night show. And I notice when we do our Wednesday shows, we get a lot of turn. A lot of the family members usually moving around during the Saturday sessions and whatnot. So everybody kind of settles in Saturday afternoon. So you never know. The show might shift from that daytime demographic to a later time on Sunday. Who knows? We'll see how it rolls going forward. But good to see all the family members come together in this one. Now, like I said, what we're going to talk about in this episode is a Sports Coma. It's pretty much we're going to talk about the free agency stuff. There you go. Kevin says Chris Jones is my one to pick. No, it won't happen, though. Never know, bro. You never know how it might end up. Chris Jones might like what you have going on down here. It might take a inexpensive deal to join you. You know, some players like guaranteed money. Some guys like signing bonuses. Saints can give him a fat signing bonus and a workable contract on the year, incentive laced toward the back end. And of course, how Mickey Loomis does is, as you know, he pushes it all into the future. And then if you underperform, he'll look to kind of either get from up under you or trade you or do something like that. It's very seldom have I seen him actually take that cap hit. Look what like Eli Apple. We know that the Eli Apple contract wasn't a part of their doing, but it would have paid him over $14 million in that final year that just passed. And of course, the Saints said, we're not going to pay you that. And of course, he's going to be a free agent as well. And I doubt the Saints will bring him back. Who knows? We'll see. But some of that stuff is what we want to talk about today on the show. Dallas says, Dallas was good. The rest of the fam. Dex 504. What up, Dex? Who that to you too, fam? Good to see you. And the rest of the family. Yeah, I know that would be awesome, Kevin. But we'll see how it goes, because a lot of people enamored with the black and gold, man. We winners down here. And of course, Drew Brees. A lot of people believe in Drew Brees that have played against him throughout the years. And it could be interesting to see if some of those guys decide, hey, man, Drew Brees is playing. He got 1 year left. I won't go down there and play with Drew. Your boy from Dallas did it. What's his name? Dez Bryant did it. I won't go play with Drew Brees. He's a winner. You never know. And that's the great thing. That's the leverage, I guess you could say, the Saints do have, is that they could say, listen, we playing for big blue chips over here. We playing for Super Bowls. If you want to play for a Super Bowl, come on over here and put that black and gold uniform on and help us out. That can happen. But that's some of the stuff that I wanted to talk about on this Saints free agency preview special, and go over some names, throw some names at the family. And of course, I wanted to be able to set it up where today that I didn't want to do too much of the breaking down. I was going to hit you with a little bit and then open them phone lines, because I want to hear some of the beautiful black and gold family members chime in on their thoughts about the free agency, because it's really about what you're thinking about. I could sit up here and sit here and talk to you 8 ways from Tuesday, like I always like to say, but I won't hear what the beautiful black and gold family members. So in a few minutes, I'm going to open up the live line. I'm going to let the family members chime in. It's going to be the fastest Sports Coma live line opening in the history of the five years of the show. So just bear with me. We're going to open that live line up and check it out. Now, a new feature, if your family could see that, sitting up here, right here to my, as you look to your left right here, Remington Tax Solutions. That's the sponsor of the show for this month, going into next month. Remington Tax Solutions. That's the Sports Coma as a sponsor. Of course, we have a lot of different affiliate sponsors that we do. If you listen to some of the podcasts we do, you'll see myself and others on commercial spots doing commercials. We do commercials for our affiliates and have a partnership with the PRO Media Network. We have a new sponsor, Remington Tax Solutions. I want to give a shout out to Remington Tax Solutions. Very, very good tax business, very trustworthy, efficient, fast, and cutting edge. You know, to Remington Tax Solutions, if you have a business or if you need tax work done and you're tired of going to these softwares and it's confusing and all this kind of stuff, and you need somebody who's on the top of their game when it comes down to tax legislation, you're going to need somebody who know about the taxes. Maybe you might have somebody that don't know how to get you all the breaks that you need for your taxes. These people are professionals. Remington Tax Solutions, they're cutting edge. They're on top of all the latest tax legislation. They attend all of the IRS meetings or whatnot to stay on par. They know the deductions, they know how to save you money, and they work for they do businesses, they do personal taxes as well, and they also do other work, meaning like helping you set up a 501c3. If you're trying to set up an organization, a nonprofit or a charity organization, they can set it up for you as well. They also have notary services that they offer. So Remington Tax Service Solutions. To get more information, go to remingtontaxes.com. That's remingtontaxes.com. remingtontax.com. Remington Taxes, you can see it scrolling. Scrolling here, as you can see it on the banner scrolling up. remingtontax.com is their website. remingtontax.com. Give them a check out. Tell them Big Q of the Sports Coma sent you. So that'll be our sponsor. Remington Tax Solutions is our sponsor for this month and next month. So we like to welcome them to the Sports Coma and the Great Saints Think Tank family by showing them some love. So big ups to the family members there as well. So I like to say who that's all the Black and Gold family members joined us in the chat. Big ups to you. And let's get right into it, family. Let me see if I can kind of share my screen just for a second. Give me just a second here. Let me see here what I can do here, because of course, if family members want to know about some of the other news that we did, you know, in terms of the breaking down the Saints email church scandal. I did that show on Thursday. Was it Thursday? Yeah, it's a Thursday night show. Also did a Wednesday show, I won't say. Did 2 shows last week, and then it had a few some news I wanted to talk about. Talking about dealing with the Saints and that email scandal of them hiding and helping the church construct a list of people and keeping the prestigious people off there. I covered that in the previous show I think it was show number 90 is when I covered that show and break it down. And of course, the family members, we got a few editors that'll probably take bits and pieces of it. That was their idea to do it, to take pieces of the Sports Coma shows like the Wednesday show and the Sunday show and taken and put it into bite-sized fragments and then distribute it out to the internet that way. So we hit it like topic per topic, as opposed to, because when we hit topics at the Sports Coma, we run on for 2 or 3 hours. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes a lot of people like bite-sized bits. Some people like a buffet. I mean, Sports Coma is the Saints buffet, baby, no doubt about it. But just give me a second, family. Let me get this list of people set up here. Let's see. Let me see if I can get my list up here. Get it set up for the family members, because we did this before. You know, we went over a list and we opened it up. We talked about a lot of the stuff dealing with the Saints organization in terms of what they'll need. We looked at the statistics. We did several shows like that. And I think what it does is it helps us to see, meaning, you know, you're looking at the team and you're saying to yourself, damn, what does this team need? And some people, we can look at it knowing that how the team is made up and how they progress and say, damn, remember, the weaknesses are that you had last year. Some strengths become less or stronger or weaker depending on what moves are made. You see what I'm saying? It's a bit of a difference is what I'm saying, because you're looking at guys that's falling off the books. You're looking at the Eli Manning apples, the Eli apples that's falling off the table, and you're thinking to yourself, man, listen, you know, we're not gonna miss nothing with that guy. PJ Williams, we're not gonna miss nothing with that guy. And it's just more of the same. But, you know, now that we know that Drew Brees is coming back, we don't want too much focus on the quarterback position, because we was looking at guys like Phillip Rivers. If Drew didn't want to play, it was a number of things that was going on, to be quite honest with you. But now that we have an opportunity to be able to see that Drew is decided to come back, hey, you know what that means? That we could focus on other areas of building this team, like getting a wide receiver. And some people say, well, Q, why would we get a wide receiver if Drew can't push the ball down the field to the deep wide receiver, which is a great point. That's a great point. But as I've said before, that Drew Brees is the 40-yard assassin. That's what I call him. And it'll stick like a lot of nicknames I've given a lot of people. But he's a 40-yard assassin, meaning he might not be able to push that ball over 40 yards consistently, but he'll tear your ass up inside of that 40. He's still deadly accurate, you know, almost in the 70s in this percentage, high passing percentage with Drew Brees. And he had that fuzzy hand situation going on with the thumb. He'll be totally healthy by the time the season start. And remember, that injury took about a year for it to totally heal. So he'll come back. He'll still be deadly accurate. We just have to be able to give him the running game. And this is some of the stuff that we'll talk about going forward, because unlike past seasons, this season here is a little bit different, a lot different. In fact, a lot different. And it's a lot different because unlike previous years, you know where you was going. You know what I'm saying? You now at the precipice where you could see the light at the end of the tunnel for your quarterback. Your quarterback, 1 year left on his deal, then he's gone. But so the team, if that's the case, what's the mindset moving forward of how the team will be constructed? Would it be constructed for a 1 year push for a Super Bowl, or would it be constructed for a push for 5 years and beyond? Think about that now. I've been thinking about, it's like, what is this going to look like? What is the mindset in order to go into free agency? You have to go into free agency with a certain mindset of how this team needs to be constructed. How would the team be constructed? Would it be constructed with 1 year in mind, the Super Bowl for Drew Brees, or would it be constructed in mind for a 5-year operation? That's all I'm saying. Sean has 4 years left on his contract, and the core of the Saints role players like Cam and Mike, they are all within the same window. So if that is indeed the case, what is the mindset going into this year? That's just an interesting question that I'm throwing out there to the family members. 504 Easy, who that to you? I see your family. Good to see you in the chat as well, and the rest of the family members. But that is some of the questions that, you know, I want to ask. Now, in just a moment, I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to be looking at a few things. And I do have, let me see here. I thought I had the wide receivers up here. I'm going to put the wide receivers up here first, because a lot of people say, hey, Q, wide receiver is pressing. It's definitely a pressing matter, and I can't buck against it, because we definitely need help in two areas of the offense concerning wide receiver play. And that is our complement outside of Mike Thomas. And remember, just bear in mind, we still got Traquan Smith in the 3rd year of his deal, and Traquan was drafted to be the replacement for Ted Ginn Jr. So if the Saints mindset, Ted Ginn's not coming back, Traquan Smith automatically occupies that opposite spot. So if you set up an unofficial depth chart today, it'll be Traquan Smith sitting opposite of him. And remember, Traquan Smith is not a slot man. He is not a slot man. He is the deep guy that you put opposite, like he played when he was in Central Florida. So my thing is, the Saints could use some help wide receiver wise opposite of Mike Thomas. That's true. But don't forget about the slot man. Remember that. We've forgotten that. You know, the slot man is super important in Drew Brees and Sean Payton's offense. We don't have a slot operator. And we haven't had a slot operator since Willie Snead left. And that should put you on par how Drew relies on a slot man. Because we had good tight ends. We had slot men. We had wide receivers both ways. And that's why it was so easy for Drew to kind of move that ball around. I don't understand why was maybe it's not a disembarking or a breaking away, so to speak, of the slot mentality. They just hadn't been able to address it. They tried, though. They tried. Remember what was his name? Matthews, that came from the Titans. And he was the guy. I was like, man, this guy's the answer to the slot. Y'all remember that? I was like, man, I did a whole little show and broke it down. I was like, man, I was happy about it. And then all of a sudden, this guy went, he went crazy. Start talking about this, that, third, and then retired abruptly. And I was like, damn, he was the guy. That's all he did his entire career. And he was in the prime of his career, and it just didn't work. Who that to you, Ernest Adams Jr.? I see your family. Good to see you in the chat. Please, family members, hit the like button. Please hit the like button upon it in the chat. Please hit the like button. But Matthews was the guy. Then he disappeared. Then there was nobody. And then you had big wide receivers like LeJordan, like Emmanuel. And then these guys here are really not slot guys. These are not slot guys. These are either possession guys or you had speed guys over here, possession, but nobody in between. You know what I'm saying? That could really occupy that slot position and make things happen. Now, they thought Austin Carr was the dude. Now, Austin Carr, Sean Payton, I told people like that. A lot of people say, man, Austin Carr, they LOL, they laugh at him. But the reality is Austin Carr, Sean Payton, and Drew Brees had a lot of respect for Austin Carr. And he fit the slot man label. Of course, he didn't get an opportunity to play. And then he got hurt when he finally caught a pass. So even in essence, Drew Brees wasn't drawn to the slot. But we have to be able to still solve the position, because you're going to get times when people are going to try to lock you down, and you're going to have to find people underneath to get to a slot man. Elvin Kamara, just get a fullback that can catch the ball out the backfield as well. These type of things that you have to have, like the guy that the 49ers have, the fullback, Strusick or whatever his name is. The guy has the H-back label. He can be a fullback for you. He can be a backup tight end for you. He can even give him the ball. He'll run it for you. He catch it out the backfield pretty good, and that's the type of fullbacks the Saints need in their system. A guy they can bring in to help block if Drew's getting some pressure, and then he can slip out and catch a pass inside the red zone, make a play. So this is not as outstanding and flashy as the wide receivers outside, but the slot man to do the dirty work and a fullback to replace Zach Line is definitely two things that take the pressure off of Mike and Jared and everybody else. It gives you more options. So that's some of the stuff that I'm talking about as well. Abraham, what up, Abraham? Kevin says Austin Carr. DQ the Jew, what up, fam? Good to see you there. He says Jalen Riga could have huge upside in the slot. I've seen him play. I don't know. I haven't seen him line up in the slot. Most of the footage that I've seen, he was on the outside. You know, I don't know. But if you're going to play inside that slot, you got to be a big, tough guy that's smart enough to understand he's going to take some hits and be able to make plays on the inside that slot position. Now, I know they got several options in the draft, but we're looking at free agency this time around. So I'm going to share my screen with the family members and let them see what I see, which is what I'm looking at right now is a free agent list. This is from sporttrack.com. Of course, there's Over the Cap and others, but I love to use sporttrack.com to talk about things because of how they lay it out. Now, this is a current list. This right here is a current list of free agents that'll be available once free agency starts. And as you can see, sitting on top of the list is AJ Green, 32 years old. His salary of last year of 2019 was $15 million. Of course, his market value is going to be a hell of a lot higher than that. Then there's Emmanuel Sanders there. He's 33 years old, looking for a payday. There's Devin Funchess, who's mostly a possession guy, but none of these guys look more interesting to me. Paul Richardson's a speedster. $8 million, $10 million range. Taylor Gabriel from Chicago, who they released. Amari Cooper's interesting, but I don't know. That's a money play. Danny Amendola is on the list there, but there was a report saying today that Amendola is going to go back to Detroit, so he'll be off this list. Then one of my favorites in free agency that I'm looking at that can help you out in the slot and then switch to the outside to play the speedster position if need be is Randall Cobb. He can do both of those. He did it well for Dallas last year and Green Bay the year before that. And a little early in this season, he was a speedster outside man that helped on the other side. So he has experience on both positions, very comfortable playing it. He's just 30 years old. He's not super old, and he was pretty productive for Dallas last year. He caught 55 passes, 828 yards, and he averaged 15.1 yards every time he caught the ball. He had also had 3 touchdowns in the game and 50 at 728 snaps to his credit. and 15 games played. So that's not bad. Good production from Randall Cobb the year before he was hurt, kind of dinged up. But you can score him between maybe a $5 to a $6 million range. You can get a guy like Randall Cobb. He won't break the bank. Then there's also other guys like Brashard Perriman, whose father played for the Saints. He's a former Tampa Bay Buccaneer. I mean, not about the Buccaneer. Yeah, he played for the Bucks, I believe. And prior to that, he was a Baltimore Raven. I know that for a fact. He's 26 years old, still a lot to show, was drafted high, didn't really show his stuff as of yet. Really interesting there to see where he goes. A guy that also is very interesting is Robbie Anderson. Of course, he's a lanky guy that plays outside, but I did see the Jets use him at times in the slot. He's a guy that's a red zone weapon for you. He's a tall wide receiver. Kind of crazy, though. Kind of mentally unbalanced a bit, you know what I'm saying? But if you can kind of whip him and shake, you can get a lot. Then it's Philip Dorsett. Lesser commodities as you go down the list. You know, but you look at guys like Geronimo Allison, there's a former Packer. There's Philip Dorsett, who played with the Indianapolis Colts, who's a speedster who gets work on the inside that might be attracted depending on how much money you want to spend. Then there's other guys down the list as well. Tavon Austin is another little guy that can help you bring more speed, kind of undersized there. Ryan Grant's an interesting option. I've heard talk about Rashard Higgins. He's an interesting fit there. No, you know, and there's several other options to look at. But of course, one of my favorite, and I'll say it again, is Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb to me would probably be, in my opinion, the better guy in terms of Saints getting that help. And if they have injury concerns, they can either slide the man inside, you know, or outside, depending on where the need is. He gives them that kind of that utility man, not utility man, but kind of that multiple angle guy. You know what I'm saying? That dual threat guy. He can play on the slide, he can play on the inside. And of course, the Saints brass love that option of having somebody that can do that can really do that can actually man the inside or outside, gives them a little room to play. Just in case somebody's not playing right, you can put him out there and he'll smoke the piss out you. Big ups to Tyra in the building as well. And see, I didn't say Nelson Aguilar because Nelson Aguilar, man, he wouldn't make it down here. We would destroy him. I mean, seriously. I mean, in terms of Philadelphia is a tough place to play, but Nelson Aguilar, how terribly inconsistent that guy has been, and how high he was drafted, I would not dare bring him down here. You can get him probably for cheap. He has speed, but the guy drops passes consistently, inconsistent, and that just won't do. So we don't need a project. We need somebody with their head in the game that can come in and be an asset among the other assets that we have, and not so much a liability. We're trying to shed our liabilities and gain our aspects, our assets, to kind of use some of our money nomenclature and trying to link it to Remington Tax Solutions. Oh, the bridge. Anyway, fam. Big ups to Cedric. I see you, Cedric. Big ups to my dog Cedric in the building. Gajil. What up, Gajil? Gajil Sessions is in the building. Good to see your family. He says he's not big on TCU receivers. I get you on that. But you got to remember, you take each one as they come, not one in the same. It's not like you picking USC quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? You got to be mindful of that. But I'm saying you got to be conscious to know to take those guys coming in. Rieger is a very good wide receiver. There are at least 12 really good wide receivers in this draft. That's why I keep preaching the Saints need to get some more picks to help themselves out there. Tyra, good to see you, baby. Good to see you in the chat. Shandon, what up, Shandon? Shandon says, what do you think about Henry Ruggs? He looks like a Brandon Cooks, but can actually run routes. The dude is talented. I just don't think he'll be there when the Saints pick. If he falls to the Saints, no doubt about it, they'll take him. But my thing is, Ruggs is going to be gone probably in the first 15 picks, if not the first 20 picks. His speed and what his consistent thing, he just, man, he's just a guy that just won't last, man. He's consistent. He has that, and when he runs in the combine coming up in February, man, let me tell you something. That kid is probably going to be the fastest wide receiver when they run. When they run and they, do the 40 times, all that, that guy's probably going to end up being the fastest wide receiver in the draft. So I'm just my take. Boy, is he terrible. He's tough. And let's see here. Kevin says Randall Cobb would be a perfect fit. Tyra says, how you been, my guy? Oh, he's talking about Scoob. Tim says, can Brashard Perriman play the slot? You know what, Tim? That's a good question. I watched the footage when he was in Baltimore, and he has some, interesting qualities about him. He makes tough catches. The thing that really kind of stumbled his career is his injuries. He's had those injuries and he's been inconsistent. When you have those injuries and you're not there consistently, that consistency is an issue, and that's been something that's kind of stalled him out. But I did see footage of him in plays where he made catches in the slot. I've seen him line him up on the outside, because he was a high pick, but I did see him catch passes in the slot. Now, as be a consistent slot man, that is yet to be determined. We have to be able to see that, but it depends on what you're looking for in terms of value as well, and if you can make his game translate to that to help you out. But Randall Cobb, to me, is a guy that's played there. You could play both positions if you need be, opposite of Mike or inside. He still retains that speed. He came back, had a really good year for Dallas, and I really do think Randall Cobb, you can get him. I was looking at Amendola, but Amendola decided to go back to Detroit. So, he would have been a perfect fit too in the Saints system. He would have been right on, man. He'd have been right there, but maybe for a year or two. He's 34 years old. Heavy D Henderson, big ups to you, Heavy D. I see your family. Who that to you? Ice Cream Man 504. Who that to you? I see your family as well. Gajil says, should we trade injury prone Rankins and resign Onyemata? Onyemata stays healthy while Rank is always on IR. Interesting, very interesting point indeed. That's the question. Because the only thing David Onyemata did, and I gave him big credit on the last several shows about him, man, just being able to come from the dirt. Like old Drake said, come from the bottom to the top. This guy was literally a raw ass draft pick in the 4th round. The same time they took Rankins that year, they took Rankins number 1, which is curious because I'm like, okay, you taking 2 defensive linemen in the same draft, and they basically could play the same position. I was kind of, what's that all about? But Jeff Ireland for president, like my dog Scoob always say, had a vision. And what happened with Sheldon Rankins, he got hurt, and it gave Onyemata all kind of time to play. And boy, did he play. He played to the point where they were benching Sheldon Rankins. See, most people don't remember all this. I remember all of that stuff. He was playing so well that they benched Sheldon Rankins in practice, and Onyemata was starting in practice. And that did something to Sheldon Rankins, because he coming in with a first rounder's mind that this position belonged to me. And then you had this raw ass defensive tackle with just nothing but bully strength. He could barely be blocked, and he lacked all type of fundamentals. But boy, did he pick up a ton of snaps between there and now. And look at him now, a finished commodity, a bull of a defensive tackle. You barely could block him. He's always in the back of in the backfield chasing the quarterback. He might just miss him by a hair, but he's always causing problems for their interior linemen when he gets in there. It's a constant push, and you did not have to worry about injuries with David Onyemata. So should they, from a productive standpoint, we're looking at maybe 2 years of Sheldon Rankins turning to Super Sheldon with the shimmy, as I call him. He became Super Sheldon with the shimmy in 2 years, for 2 years. But prior to that, Onyemata has always been consistent and has continued to incline like that. And they always tell you that your best ability is your availability. Well, Onyemata has been there. So the Saints have to show up. I most certainly would give him a contract. I would want to keep Onyemata here, because you still own, well, I don't want to say own because that's such a strong word, but it's pretty much what it is, your property of the team, but you're still under contract with Sheldon Rankins. So if Sheldon Rankins doesn't prove that he can get there, then you will have Onyemata. But I would most certainly offer David Onyemata. I would offer it's simple. It's a simple formula. I would offer all of my productive players contracts. Who wouldn't? How hard is this general manager stuff? Seriously. Your productive players, you keep. The ones who weren't productive, try to find ones that could be productive. Right? Common sense. Eliminate the minuses and gain pluses. get rid of the liabilities, gain more assets. You know, that's the great process of thinking when it comes down to math and other things. But the truth be told is, yes, I would offer David Onyemata a contract to come back. I would even ask him to take a slight pay cut to be there and give him a lot of signing money. But you never know what you get with Sheldon Rankins. That's the thing. And let's say Sheldon balls out of control this upcoming year. Then you have a fat contract on the books for Sheldon Rankins. I mean, his contract, truth be told, might actually be larger than David Onyemata's. But if my taking is, I would think about keeping him. You ain't gonna be able to keep both of them unless they both take pay cuts. But David Onyemata is your guy. He's homegrown, super productive, super strong. He's getting better every year. He doesn't miss any games, and then he's just a bull of a defensive lineman in there. You can't block him and take two guys to block him, and then he tan through their ass and causing havoc in the quarterback's face. I mean, it's a no brainer. I would definitely offer him a contract, bro. No doubt about it. It's just what it is. Big ups to the family. DQ says Onyemata's athletic with that size. Man, the guy is fantastic, bro. He had all attributes except for the fundamentalness. And you got to give credit to the Saints defensive line coaches for really, Ryan Nielsen in particular, and other coaches that worked to develop this guy into what he is today. Injuries have not stopped David Onyemata, and the only games he missed was the game when they kicked him out of there for the weed thing that the police dropped the charges on that the NFL hit him with. It with Roger the Chump Goodell. So I mean, the guy has been there. You know, he's been there, and besides that little hiccup that he had with that, outside of that, man, that guy's always he hadn't given you any problems. So I would definitely say he's a guy that you definitely want to keep. That's just my opinion. Now, outside of that, the Saints need to focus on getting another pass rusher. They definitely need another pass rusher. You know, I hear people I see in the chat, right? I was just thinking about AJ Espinoza is a guy that a lot of people like that think that he'll be there when the Saints draft. I don't think he would, but who knows how the draft will work out. I'm seeing 5 or 6 quarterbacks leaving before the Saints get, where every quarterback that's taken, meaning that more skill players fall to where you are. So you're going to get a really good cornerback there. You're going to get a really good linebacker there. You're going to get a really good offensive lineman there. And the thing is, with all those great linemen falling and eitherwise falling to you, will you then jump against your needs and draft for position just because that guy is rated higher on your board? Would you take him, or take the guy 3 or 4 spots down that you actually need to play for you right then and there? See, that's the kind of a quandary that the Saints have when they do that. But we'll see how it all plays. It's just interesting stuff, man. Please hit the like button, family, upon joining the stream. All the beautiful Black and Gold family members chiming in the stream. Thank you, Tyra. Appreciate you. She says, how do I do a donation without emptying my bank account? Donations, you could do it. We have 3 ways you could do. You could do one on the super chat. Or you can donate if you use Cash App. Most people use Cash App, and you can see it right now. It's scrolling above my head. It's Cash App. The $ the sports coma, $ the sports coma, $ the sports coma for Cash App, or PayPal is the PRO Media Network at gmail.com for PayPal. That's the PRO Media Network at gmail.com, the PRO Media Network at gmail.com, or Cash App. $ the sports coma. You know, you can donate either one of those platforms. It'd be fine. So thank you very much for asking. Thank you, Tyra. JT, who that to you? JT, I see you, fam. 985J in the building. My dog 985 in the building. What up, fam? JT says, hey, Q, what do you think about the free agent linebacker in Cleveland? You talking about Schubert? Yes, Schubert is excellent, man. But it doesn't he come with an injury history? Because he was balling out for Cleveland, and I like him. But you know what? The thing is, too, is you got a guy like Demario Davis who's going to have 1 year left on his contract. And my question is, where's Mickey Loomis when he's supposed to be handing these contracts out? Why hasn't Demario Davis been handed a contract? Why hasn't David Onyemata been put out a contract? Why hasn't Elvin Kamara even been issued a contract? Why is all these productive players have not been issued contracts? I don't get that. You're supposed to reward productivity. You're supposed to just award it, especially in the case of a guy like Elvin Kamara, who everybody could admit that he outplayed that 3rd round contract severely. So where was the Saints to give him say, you know what, you did well for us. Here is our reward to you by offering you a contract. It might have been a contract he might not agreed on the numbers, but you cannot say that the Saints was proactive in at least offering him. So they have that good faith. Listen, we offered you a contract. We're trying to work with you, friend. We're trying to do something. We love you. We want you to be here. We want you to be happy. You know, such and such, such and such. But they did not. But everybody want these guys to take pay cuts. It don't work like that, especially when they know the team worth $1 billion. You take a pay cut. And they know they can make money work and mix it around and all that kind of stuff. But we'll see how it works, man. It's falling on, I ain't gonna say on both sides, but the player is he don't feel like he being respected. And we're gonna say it was this, that, and the third, but it's just money. They play for money. Money motivates them besides the trophy. The truth be told, if it was about a trophy, really, and they want a trophy that bad, most of them are multimillionaires. They could just buy the effing thing. I mean, come on. I mean, it ain't like it's made of platinum. What is it made out of? Seriously. It's not no really expensive. So, I mean, come on. How much is it actually worth? They could pay for it 3 times over. The money is what motivates these guys to show that the team respect and love them and want them there. You understand? So that's what, to me, which you show a sign of love by issuing out a contract to these guys. Say, listen, we want you here. We want to work with you. This guy's sitting on his hands, and I don't get that. Please feel free to hit the like button, family. Some more family members joining the session. Hey, Lori, who that to you, Lori? Lori Hackler in the building. Good to see you, family. Lori's in the building. Got love for Lori. And let's see who else we got here. Louis Lombard. What's up, Louis? Louis all the way. He says, Q, I finally made it. Who that? From the Who Dat Nation Cali chapter. That's right. We got a few beautiful Black and Gold Sports Coma family members. Great Saint tankers that's out there in California. My dog Crass and others. Louis Lombard and the rest of the family. They are out there in the Cali. Fly Trade Social Media. Who that to your family? Good to see you as well. Welcome. Kevin says, hey, Q, would get Leonard Williams for cheap. I love that. I love that because you could play Leonard Williams inside or out. He's kind of flexible enough to use either or. And I just think he being really disrespected. He's really been but I love Leonard Williams. Remember, Sean Payton tried to get Leonard Williams several seasons ago. He wanted Leonard Williams bad. So if we can get Leonard Williams and plug him in there, man, you talking big blue chips here, baby. You talking big blue chips here, baby. Straight up, that line will be you slide him inside out. Leonard Williams, that's a good call there, Kev. All right, let's see who else we got here. Let's see who else we got here on the fan. I don't want to leave nobody out. And everybody chiming that. Look like I got everybody. I shouted out everybody. Elite Goods. What up, Elite? I know I missed somebody. Elite Goods in the building. So, family, please feel free to hit the like button, family. Hit that like button, family. Good to, you know what, family? I just want to say this before I open up the phone lines. Feel good to talk to the family at night, man. Really do. You know, I got some cooking going on right now, and, you know, I'm cooking beans. And a friend of mine gave me some deer sausage, so I'm putting that deer sausage in there. Boy, that deer sausage good, too. Yeah, it gave me some deer sausage, man. That deer sausage is off the chain. It got pineapple chunks in the oh, my goodness. Come on, now, come on. Don't call me Big Q for nothing. Trail Hatch says offense good, but I think we need to focus and go all out on defense. We can't stop nobody when it really counts. Attitude, too, fam. Attitude is a major focus of the team. We have to focus on is the attitude, the mentality of the team. Also, the Saints need to kind of add that speed asset, the speed versatility to the linebacker. We're a little overlap behind Demario Davis, and we're not as not as strong as I want us to be. Now, AJ Klein and all those other guys, love them, but the speed aspect to make the Saints strong and ferocious and not susceptible to the athletic tight ends in our division and other divisions as well, man. Let me tell you, the Saints got to work. But the reality at the end of the day is that the Saints have more than enough in this. They can do some stuff here. We don't have to have $50 million and Cap to do some stuff here. The Saints are still going to make some moves like they did last year when people say, oh, we can't make no moves. We ain't got nothing but $10 or $12 million. What they did, sign Latavius Murray, sign Nick Eason, sign all those players, Sylvester Williams, sign Williams, the other guy, the slot guy, Matthews that I told y'all about from Tennessee, sign Kayvon Webster, sign all these dudes, and then toward the back end of free agency, after 2 months in the third section of free agency, they finally got Jared Cook for a 2-year, $16 million deal. Where did that money come from? So don't focus so much on it, because if they need to go and get somebody, they'll find the money. And all you need to do is cipher through these contracts and alter some things, and we'll get it. So hit the like button, family. Please feel free to hit the like button. Like I'm saying, for most of the family members that's joining us on tonight's show, the Sports Coma has a new show, a sponsorship, which is Remington Tax Solutions. And you can see about if you have tax preparation that you need done reliable, safe, effective, fast, and trustworthy. That's a mouthful. Remington Tax Solutions, check them out. RemingtonTax.com. Just to let the family know, big up to them. That's why that is sitting in the corner of the screen, just to let the family members know. Kevin says, Q, what do you think about Brandon Ayuk? Love him. Arizona State, love that dude. Dude is special. That's why I was and then the thing about it is, I've been saying that about these wide receivers. But not just say 12 wide receivers that are really good wide receivers. I've never seen a draft that deep with wide receivers. I'm not kidding you. They got at least 12 really good, at least 12. Now that's more than that. But really 12 of them right now that I really love. And I've been watching the draft for a long time, and I've never seen so many special wide receivers before. This draft is absolutely blowing my mind. All the really good quarterbacks that's in there, all the wide receivers there, the running backs, all that is going down in a major capacity. And let me just tell you a few of the wide receivers I really love. Jerry Jeudy, a special route runner. Ruggs, the wide receiver from Alabama with all that speed. He can catch and run the ball. He didn't have the statistics that Jerry Jeudy had, but the dude is special. You got Brandon Ayuk out of Arizona State, really special. Devin Duvernay out of Texas, who caught over 100 balls, deep threat, double digits in the touchdowns as a wide receiver. Who else am I thinking? Man, it's just so many great wide receivers out there. You got LaVista Chenault from Colorado State, big physical wide receiver that can run and catch the ball. Just love this crop of wide receivers coming out. There's a guy out of Florida. His name forgets me. It's of course our guy Jefferson from LSU. It's so many great ones, dude. KJ Hill out of Ohio State's a special breed. Who else in them, man? The guy from Penn State, the guy from Liberty. The Liberty College wide receiver, 6'3", the small town guy, he's special. Who else is it that I want to call out to? Man, T. Higgins. How could I forget T. Higgins? Lamb. How could I forget Lamb from Oklahoma? I mean, it's so many really talented, awesome, special wide receivers. The kid from Minnesota, I was watching footage on him the other day. He's really nice. So like I said, at least 12 is actually about maybe 20 of them, but 12 really ones that pop off the page at me when I watch them, when I talk about them, baby. I'm telling you, no doubt about it. Derek Allison, what up, D? Daron, what up, fam? Good to see you as well in the building. Good to see the family members chiming in. My dog Derek said, what up, big homie in the house? Thank you, fam. Good to see you there in the chat as well. And once again, let's give a special shout out for my dog, Derek Lockett. Derek Lockett is in the hospital, and I know his family members watch the Sports Coma, and Derek is a very important part of the Great Saint Think Tank, one of the original guys. You know, we got a lot of love for D. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Derek. Derek, is a great dude, man. His family is an awesome person. Big ups to my dog, Derek Lockett. And our prayers from the Great Saints Think Tank, the Sports Coma, and myself truly go right out to Derek Lockett and his family. Very good dude, man. And if I know his family members are listening, family, if y'all listening, chime in. Let us know how our family member is doing. Let us know how he's doing. We love our family over here. We care about him. And, let us know how the brother doing. I know the family members listening. So just hit the chat up, and it'll put my mind at ease, and a lot of the people out here that got love for Derek as well. You know, I know that's the family, but he's our family as well. So big ups to Derek over there, Derek Lockett. Big up to my dog, Derek. Family, if Derek Lockett's family, I know y'all listening, chime in. Let us know how you doing. Thank you, family. Appreciate y'all. And thank all the well wishers as well. Thank y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. Hold 'em, hook 'em TV. Big ups to your family. I see you there. Like I said, family, it's a lot of great things out there in it, but the mindset, and I bring it back to this, the mindset of the team. What is the mindset? Is it putting together a team for 1 year for Drew Brees or a Drew Brees run? Or is it spanning out 4 or 5 seasons to build a champion? I mean, what is it? I mean, because it means something, because it'll shape how we approach free agency. It'll shape how we approach the draft. Like if we trying to win right now, we might not take that quarterback. We might take a wide receiver, a cornerback, a defensive lineman, some offensive lineman. You get me? They might skip over the quarterback. I don't want to take a quarterback at the bottom of the 3rd round. Like take a quarterback after the 3rd round. I think that's stupid. You got so many of these good quarterbacks. Maybe we can get one, maybe not in the 1st round, but maybe definitely in the 2nd round. Let's get somebody that we can add there to help learn something. You get me? You know, we'll see. We'll see how it works. But big ups to the family as well. And Lori says, we are going to the Super Bowl. That's right, Lori. Thank you, baby. Appreciate you for that. JT said praying. Okay, thank all the family members for all that, man, for praying for Derek, man. Derek's a very special dude, man. He's family here at the Great Saints Think Tank. And that's what we are, man. We are family, man. And that's how I handle it. But anyway, family, I'm going to proceed to keep going forward. I'm going to open up the live lines for the family member, because really, you know, I wanted to talk about the free agency stuff and the mindset, but also want the family members to chime in on their thoughts as well about what they think about what needs to be done in free agency. What is the approach and how things is going. Of course, family, feel free to hit the like button right now. We got over 50 people in the live chat. Please feel free to hit the like button. It helps the show out exponentially. Please feel free to hit the like button. Jalen Riga, how can I forget him from TCU? We were talking about him. Michael Pittman is another dude that's special as well. Thank you for that. Hold 'em, hook 'em, DQ the Jew. Big ups to you for throwing that out there. There are so many. I'm gonna pull up my list, man, and look at them, because there's so many of them suckers. It's hard to kind of keep a track on how many they are. But I always keep my 2020 NFL draft prospect rankings list up to run them down. CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs, T. Higgins, LaVista Chenault, Brian Ayuk, Jalen Riga from TCU. They got them all listed over Justin Jefferson. KJ Hamler, that's the guy I was thinking about from Penn State. Denzel Mims, that's another really good dude. I was watching him from Baylor catch them deep bombs. Donovan Peoples-Jones, the guy from Michigan, Jones, 3 names. Devin Duvernay, one of my favorites. You know, I picked him in my mock draft. I picked Devin Duvernay, as special as he was catching the ball. The man had 106 catches in college. I mean, double-digit touchdowns. I mean, how could you kick against that? I mean, seriously, that is the epitome of production. You know, it was just a special year, big time. But anyway, I'm going to share my screen once again with the family members. Remember, the live lines open, family. 504-475-4482. 504-475-4482. 504-475-4482 is the live line. You can call. The live line is open. Remember, it might be a busy night. It is Saturday night. I don't know how I usually go on Saturday night. We don't do too many Saturday night shows. But, you know, kind of get your question, concern, or comment in there. You know, and kind of just free it up and let somebody else jump in there, and, you know, and the likes. You know, you usually let people run it if the line ain't too busy. But if we got a lot of people calling, we're going to have to cut it short, and you just got to just be a little quick on it. 504-475-4482. 504-475-4482. 504-475-4482. Live line is open, and you can call anytime you want. So we're going to look at it right quick. This is the listing right now, as you can see, of some of the wide receivers available in the draft. And you can see all these guys we talked about. CeeDee Lamb from Alabama, from Oklahoma, both of the Alabama wide receivers, Jerry Jeudy, 6'1", and Henry Ruggs, 6 feet. T. Higgins is a beast. You know what I'm saying? LaVisca Chenault is a beast. Brian Ayuk is a beast. Jalen Reagor is a beast. Justin Jefferson, you already know what time it is with Justin. KJ Hamler is pretty special as well. I mean, Denzel Mims, I was watching footage on him. Brian Edwards from South Carolina. This dude This dude is something special. 6'3", he got speed. In 10 games, he caught 71 catches. And at 11.5 per clip with 6 touchdowns out the SEC. Very special. I was watching him. Tyler Johnson, somebody told me about Tyler Johnson. I think it was DLP. 2600 told me about him. I went up and looked him up and said, man, this kid could play. This kid could play. He had 86 catches and 13 touchdowns, catching about 15 yards per catch. That's amazing. Tyler Johnson. Devin Duvernay, this is my dude right here. Devin Duvernay, you can see what he got, 106. So like I said, man, it's just amazing of some of these guys. Here he is, Antonio Gandy Golden from Liberty. The 6'2", 220 guy had 79 catches, almost 1,400 yards. He averaged almost 18 yards per catch and had double-digit touchdowns. I mean, this is a special breed of people. This is, here you go, Michael Pittman from USC. Over 100 catches, 1,200 yards, 11 touchdowns. Do you understand what I'm telling you about? KJ Hill from Ohio State, special wide receiver. And how splendid their numbers were this year. 57 catches for 10 touchdowns and the 11 catch average looks really normal. But that's still phenomenal for a college wide receiver, especially for Ohio State. But it just shows you how the bar was elevated for this crop of wide receivers. It's just amazing. You know, you got Van Jefferson. This the Florida guy. He wasn't as productive, but you could see what he was doing on the field. He flashes a lot of great weapons, man. A lot of great weapons in this draft to look at. Like I said, it's a boatload of talent there. A boatload of talent. Wow. And it's just, like I said, it's at least 12 of them, but I would say up to 20 really fantastic wide receivers where it can really come out and help your team straight up. So like I said, that's just the crop of wide receivers that we was talking about. Of course, we ain't talking too much about the free agency thing. We kind of looking into the draft thing, excuse me. We're more concerned looking at the free agencies. We just, earlier, I showed some wide receivers that are available on the wide receiver free agency coming up, which is, I think is going to be a pretty weak free agency period. And of course, a lot of people was talking about what we need to do in terms of the cornerback position. So it'll be interesting to see just how well what we do with the free agency, with the position in terms of that is. So the live lines open, family. 504-475-4482. Live lines is open. 504-475-4482. Please feel free to call and hit the like button. Please feel free to hit the like button. As I look at the chat, see some of them. Ricky Jones, who that? Ricky says Laviska Shenault would be perfect for the simple fact that it would take the pressure off of let's see, he says here. Simple fact that it would take the pressure off of whether or not Breeze can put the ball 50 plus yards through the air. Anything less than Shenault would be. I see your family. But he might be there. Laviska Shenault could very well be there. Kevin says Robert Quinn would be a nice pickup, cheap and productive. Saints tried to get him too. Went with Dallas and tried to get. I mean, when Miami was trading him, they tried to get Quinn. Dallas just gave him a little bit more. He's available, and you're right. He would be an excellent fill-in guy. Just point at the quarterback and say, "Go get him." You don't need to know no verbiage. Just say, "Hey, Robert, look, point at the quarterback. Go get him." Touch sacks. Robert Quinn would be a special commodity, and I definitely say probably you can get him on a little cheap deal that could be effective for the Saints, and we can have a veteran, proven pass rusher as opposed to a Trey Hendrickson or a Carl Granderson. You know, this if indeed this is what you want to build and get into and move forward. Okay, let's see what some of the family members are saying in chat as well. JT says, Q, sometimes you try to do one and you do 2 or 3, right? I hear you, fam. Let's see. Kevin says Bud Dupree is nice. Can he play the 4-3? Bud Dupree is interesting. I don't know. That's the thing about him. But I like the Quinn pick a little bit better, a little safer. Devin says it's hard to speculate because the Saints do the opposite of what we think. True indeed. But the draft mentality has always been to get the best player. The Saints, you know, in recent drafts tried to get the best player. Now they've at some portions have built the team up to a point where they can draft for need. But when you have an offensive lineman that falls to you, and let's say the offensive lineman is ranked as a second best offensive lineman in the draft, and the Saints are looking at the offensive line saying, "God damn, if we draft this guy, they're gonna be mad, but we need him because he's a top flight offensive line for the next 10 years. We can kind of get Larry Warford out of here. Or they might find the bookend to complement Ryan Ramczyk. You see what I'm saying? They can draft, it could be a number of things that can happen when the Saints have put together a board of impressive players who they would like. And if any of them guys fall to them, they'll take them over the need. But what needs do the Saints have to be addressed in those early rounds? Because usually the first and second or third picks are used to take starters. If you have a deep draft, you might be able to get a fourth round guy to come in and compete for a start if you're fortunate. But look at you looking opposite of Mike Thomas. You say, okay, we need a wide receiver. So either one of those picks could be used for a wide receiver. We could utilize him. The Saints have a 41-year-old quarterback and a 30-year-old quarterback who is very physical. You might need a young guy to come in and compete to learn. But that mentality, the way they think is how I'm looking at how they think. And I would say the Saints won't draft a quarterback. And this is just what I'm thinking. This is how I rationalize it. The Saints won't draft a quarterback because they're going to sign Drew Brees. They're going to eventually sign Taysom Hill back. And what they're going to do is they're going to go for a cheap option at the veteran position so that Taysom Hill could be the gadget man again. So if that's the case, there is no room for a developmental quarterback. He's not going to keep 4 active quarterbacks. Do you see? I'm thinking, do you really think that Sean Payton signs Drew? He's going to go after Taysom Hill. They're going to definitely go after Taysom. They'll pay Taysom Hill $5 million. That's easy money. If they paid Teddy Bridgewater $9 million last year, $8-9 million, they'll give Taysom Hill $5 million. That's a bargain for a do-it-all player. And Sean Payton loves his dirty draws. But I just don't see him then drafting a young quarterback to sit there while Taysom runs. And then eventually if Taysom gets hurt, then you got to put the rookie in. I just don't see that. What up, fam? Thanks for calling Sports Coma. Who I'm speaking with.
What's up, Kev?
What up, Kev? What up, GM Kev? What's up?
Oh man, this tripping out, man. We all brainstorming, putting our head together to try to see, what way they're gonna go.
Great Saints think tank, baby.
Oh man, yeah, it's looking good, man. I'm starting to feel a little good now about the season. I was mad for a while. I'm thinking okay, I'm seeing a lot of little talent now. I'm okay, I'm getting that feeling back. Yeah, man. Okay. So look, check this out. Before we go to the draft, okay, we need picks.
Okay.
So who would be the better option to get multiple picks? And if we can get multiple picks, is it possible we can get 2 first round or at least a first we need that second pick definitely because we won't have it. So can we get a 1 and a 2 for a player?
Which player though, Kev? I mean, who would you?
I mean, well, aren't they going to tender Taysom? First round tender?
I think they would tender him. I don't know if it'll be a first round, but I could see them paying whatever the cost is going to be. Remember Sean Payton said we covered it the last show. Sean Payton was talking about it, and he said that Taysom don't even have to go into the tender market. They can offer him a contract and sign him before he even go in. He put that information out there, which let me know.
Well, we know how he do.
Right, but what they're going to do is they're going to let the market dictate his value. Because that's pretty much what it's going to be. And they're going to be willing to pay. They're going to what's the price? Well, we're willing to pay as much as $5 million a season for Taysom Hill. Is he that valuable? Well, yes, he is. And that's what it is. And that's actually the cost of the tender. If you pay they give him $5 million, that's the first round tender. So I just think the Saints going to go with that. I think they're going to keep him there.
You think so?
I think they'll keep him there.
I guess, yeah.
With Drew. It's with Drew, bro.
But,
you look at it, though, Kel. They sign, you get Drew Brees back. The reality is Sean Payton gonna get the band back together. He gonna offer a contract. He gonna let the market set the value for Taysom Hill. Then he's gonna match it. Then he'll bring him back. And then that's why I just said about the rookie quarterback thing is that the rookie quarterback thing won't happen because there's no way that Sean Payton's gonna draft a rookie, then have him on the active roster. And then Taysom Hill becomes gadget man. Something happens to Drew, God forbid, and then Taysom has a slide up, and you gonna rely on that rookie? So I just don't see him going. That's the mentality. It's just my thinking of how Sean Payton. I could be wrong. But I just
Yeah.
think they're gonna get the
Yeah.
band back together, bro. But what you thinking on?
Well, I'm thinking, you know, I was to answer your question. You was like, well, what's the mentality? Is it for like, you know, go in all this year for Drew,
Right.
or is it something spread out for the future?
Right.
And how I'm looking at it is that you playing poker and you putting all your chips in for this year because you brought Drew back. You're not bringing Drew back just for stats. You bringing him back because you feel like he's a critical piece to you winning the Super Bowl. So you're going all in. That's what you just said. I'm going all in. So by you going all in, you're going to have to get talent around him. Now, who do we put out there to get more picks in the trade? Because we do need more picks. So who's going to be available? Is it Kamara?
That would be my first call. Kamara.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
If Kamara takes a agreeable deal for the Saints, which would be agreeable deal, he would take anything less than $8 million, perhaps. I mean, they say anywhere between $5 to $8 million a season for Kamara, but double digit money they will not pay. But anything between 5 to 8, perhaps, perhaps. But if you're not going to pay him, right.
This is because they should have been locked this guy up after his second year, and by him going to get this agent, he's probably going to be around. I don't see him probably wanting less than 10.
Yeah, especially with that agent. But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, with that agent,
yeah. But that's the thing that really would have helped you. You wouldn't even have to get the agent. It's the fact that he felt disrespect, and that's why. And we were saying, "Damn, something wrong here." Is it the Mark Ingram angle? It wasn't entirely the Mark Ingram angle. It was the money. See, we was looking at the Ingram thinking emotional. We should have been thinking financial. And he was outplaying that contract, Kev. He outplayed the hell out. And he should have got compensated after his second year. Notice the shift in mentality once Mark Ingram got done when he got done with the money. After all he done for the Saints and how they did him with the money. Then here come Elvin Kamara saying, because Mark telling him, listen, bro, I'm going to tell you, like, I've been a Saint for a long time. I know how them people handle business. They should have offered you. He knew they should have offered him a contract. The man outplayed the third round contract that he was drafted underneath. The Saints should have compensated him after the second year. Now he's made the third Pro Bowl for the third year. He's pissed off. He was making business decisions. He hired that flipping agent. That's a high priced agent, and he coming for blood.
Rich Paul.
He coming for blood.
Yeah, because if you look at it, Baltimore didn't offer Mark Ingram that much more than what the Saints could have offered him. So I'm thinking, like, what was really going on here? Because I'm thinking, like, he's getting $5 million a year, and Peyton, it had in the papers that Peyton would only go no more than 4. So I'm thinking, like, what was the process of you not giving him that extra $1 million? Like, is that really a big difference from 4 to 5 for what he brings to the table?
Right.
I'm like, what's going on here? And then you seen the attitude with Kamara. So I think it was more about the business part of it than the team part of it. Like, I see how these people playing it, so let me look out for myself.
There you go. Hence, then running out of bounds. Hence, not making the business decisions on the field. Him not emotionally involved, and people saying, "Oh, that's just his mentality." That it wasn't. No, it wasn't. He was playing emotional. He's an emotional player. You tell what he did. He wasn't start dropping the ball and doing all that stuff until late in the year as it approached the playoffs. But he was like he wasn't out there, and that's because the man had did everything he was supposed to do for the team, and they supposed to have compensated him. It is a bad look. And I keep saying about crack in the armor. I keep saying cracks in the armor, cracks in the armor. How? Because you got a coach that been here over 10 years. His message somewhat becomes stale. And then sometimes he'll develop as a reputation of being some type of offensive mastermind. But the reality at the end of the day is that you have to be able to see and take care of your special players when they're outperforming. You don't treat the special players the same as the third teamer. That's
let me ask you a question, because I don't know if you were seeing what I see, because, there was a report saying that there was an altercation before the playoff game against Minnesota that Sean Payton wanted to keep in-house. Now, we don't know the details of that, but didn't you feel like as that game came and it was going on that he had lost the team? It kind of seemed like something went on deep.
Oh, yeah.
It seemed like it.
No doubt about it.
Something went on.
Oh, no doubt about it, Kev. You're absolutely right, because you look at the last 4 games of the regular season, how the team was rolling through those games. And then you get to the playoffs, and it wasn't that great of a time between the end of there was no off game or a bye week. The Saints went right in from the final regular season game right into the playoffs at home. And it was a total different team. They weren't inconsistent. They were playing They were playing lights out football that whole month leading into the playoffs. Then you look at the team in the playoffs. You had people fussing and fighting, pushing each other on the sideline. You had Sean Payton totally not engaged emotionally in the game, like it was another game. His mentality and attitude was similar to him. Watching him, even I've seen him in early preseason games get emotional and point and even write stuff down. He was totally detached from the game, and the team mimicked his team. But it did. I mean, it did, because we've seen enough of Sean Payton coaching style to know when he has his hands on the pulse of the team and when he doesn't. He left too much up, and you can see the team fighting and all that.
And think about this: how often do you see Drew Brees totally go mind blank on a 2-minute offense?
Never seen it. Never
seen it. You're just like, well, what is going on? It's like in Alvin Kamara, he couldn't line up right. I'm thinking man, what is going on with y'all, man?
Totally
it was some inside forces. It seemed like it split down the middle. And I don't know what the issue is. Either some people are thinking this way about some situation and some people are thinking about this, or it may be egos, because Aaron Glenn was trying to talk to Marshawn Lattimore on the sidelines and he was just going off on him. I'm like, man, he talking to the coaches all like that, and the camera caught it. I'm like, oh, they're not going to win, dude. They're not winning this game. Nah, when you see that.
Yep. That's exactly
all
what
right, man,
I'm
going to let somebody else jump on, because I know you want to hurry up and get up out of here, though, man.
Thank you, Kev. Appreciate you, my fam. Thank you. I'm glad you feel better about it, bro, because you've been kind of hot on them, bro.
Well, I feel like, too, if they get a couple of picks, you got Leonard Williams out there. He can help.
That. I like that.
Robert Quinn could come in and help.
I like that call, too.
A lot of receivers. So, hey, I'm feeling pretty good right now. We'll see how it goes, though.
That's right. Thank you, brother. Appreciate the information.
All right, man.
Who that to you, cuz?
All right, later. Who that?
Later. That's GM Kev, man. GM Kev say he feel good. He been lighting their ass up recently online. But that's the part of it, man, though. But, that's the thing about the Great Saints Think Tank, man. When you sit down, you kind of hash things out. You see the direction of the team and see there's more pluses than there are minuses. And we'll be fortunate enough to understand that we are still pretty much a contending team. We are a Super Bowl pick, and we have a lot of talent on this team. A lot of talent, in the right places, and we talking merely to add a few pieces here or there to reinforce what is here already. So I really say so to take it to another level. So like I said, we have to be able to do what is needed to build a team, keep building the depth, and keep that mentality, and learn, please, of all things, please learn from the mistakes of the past several years, in the playoffs especially. So that's something that we want to thank. So I thank Kevin for joining the Great Saints Think Tank. Go keep it rolling, family. Big ups to Tori Shepard Sr. I see you, Tori. Troy Thompson. What up, Troy? Who that to you, family? I see you in the chat. Big ups to the family members joining us, Devin, and the rest of the family. I see you, Devin. Let's see who else is on here. Let's see any questions, concerns, or comments. Anybody throwing out. JT says Sean needs pressure on him so we know. Let me see what he says. Pressure on him so we would want more than just one championship. I think that's the goal. It's just he has to be a little bit more disciplined in his approach of balancing that offense. I think that's the portion of it, running the ball. He a little too much, even to the point where he won't run the ball, even when he'll do these extended handoffs, when the quarterback will snap the ball and then zip it down the sideline, the guy will take off. That's considered a running play, though it's a pass, but it's like an extended running play. He employs those a lot. I think anytime he could put the ball in there, he does. And when you have a guy like Drew Brees there and the weapons like Mike Thomas, it's kind of an addictive drug, I think, to a degree, to have so many super people on a team, and you just want to see what they can do. But the Saints also, they can't get trapped in that. They have to be able to still keep the fundamental mentality of keeping the team balanced by adding help all the way around. Give him weapons, as many weapons as he needs. Give him a slot man. We need a slot man. We need another guy opposite of Mike Thomas, 2 wide receivers, in fact, on the offense. We need a fullback that can catch the ball out the backfield because Zach Lyon retired. couldn't make it. He couldn't stay healthy. He tried to come back, then ultimately retired. So we need that to happen. You need a little depth on the offensive line. Maybe we should be thinking about removing Teron Armstead finally. When is enough? And you see about drafting the offensive lineman to replace Teron Armstead so you can book in the new guy and Ramczyk, and then you have McCoy in the middle. They're offensive guard where Andrews Pete used to be. There's a hole there that needs to be addressed. So like I said, there's several things the Saints could probably look in the draft. And don't be surprised if an offensive lineman is the Saints' first round draft pick. Just keeping it real with you. A guy that could play the guard and tackle positions. Watch. Don't be surprised if it's that we saying quarterback, we're saying wide receiver. But don't be surprised that it won't be an offensive lineman. Because they are looking at, man, we got a hole in the offensive lineman. A hole in the offensive line. And really, if you think about pressing needs, we can say wide receiver all we want, but without a wide receiver, we ran this, like I've said countless times, we ran the second wide receiver position by committee for the last several seasons. But you got a 41-year-old quarterback that run like his feet stuck in quicksand. You're going to need offensive linemen. So should we rethink this thing? We listening to a lot of the stuff that the people outside are saying, like the so-called experts that know the Saints are saying that wide receiver is the top thing. But really, if you truly think about it, it's not wide receiver. People gonna disagree with me on that, but I'm telling you, when you said I want Drew Brees back, and the moment Drew said I'm coming back for one more year, that wide receiver position changed. It changed to offensive lineman. That was a top need now because you have a hole at the left guard position that you probably gonna want to fill with that first round draft pick. Because something tell me that several really top 10 offensive linemen are going to fall to you at that 24 position because you got 5 really desperate quarterback needy teams. You got guys like Herbert, Tua, Burrow. Those guys are coming off the board. You got other guys like Jordan Love. Some people saying he's going to come off the board. There's the guy from Georgia. They saying he can come off the board. So Jake Fromm. So there's several are really quarterback hungry teams that's looking for new quarterbacks to guide their franchises. Whatever quarterback pick, a skill player guy falls down. There are a lot of other positions or teams that need wide receivers. So you'll see several wide receivers go. You'll see a few in linebackers go, a couple of pass rushers, and maybe one offensive lineman, but you'll see them offensive linemen start to stockpile toward the back end of that draft. And like I said, we keep saying wide receiver, but if you rethink that thing, when they said Drew Brees, we want you back, and Drew said I'm coming back for the final year, the top position is not really wide receiver anymore. It became the offensive line position. Notably, the left guard spot where Andrews Pete will not be there. So think about that, man. So, and then you got to think about it too. If Sean Payton drafts an offensive lineman there, it'll be a cheap way of filling the position. And I'm pretty sure that perhaps he can draft the guy that could play tackle, then eventually slide him out and replace Teron Armstead, because that's coming. It's coming. They're not going to keep paying Teron Armstead. What is he making every year? What, $13 million a season? He got the highest figure on the team since Drew Brees' contract fell off. Teron Armstead's contract, and I'm gonna pull it up and show you guys some stuff. But that's what I'm saying when we talk about Saints, man. We talk about Saints football. That's what we talk about. So hold on here. I'm gonna show y'all guys, via Sport Track what the Saints contracts look like, because I like to show and prove. Just give me just a second here, family, and I'm gonna put it up here for you, so you can show you what the high number. Because Teron Armstead has been a staple for the Saints for a very long time. But the truth is, sooner or later, is when Drew Brees goes, they're gonna have several players that's gonna go with him. Not into retirement, but I mean in terms of guys that are gonna follow Drew Brees that that they're not gonna need there anymore. So let me see what the base salary is. Let me pull it up here. What they're making here. I think Mike Thomas is the highest. Hold on, let me make sure I got this right. And I'm going to share it with you guys momentarily. Just give me a second. Yeah, he carries a $15.9 million. Teron Armstead's, let's see, his cap hit figure is ridiculous. But base salary wise, Michael Thomas, let me see if I can get them all lined up here. There we go. Let me share my screen with you guys so you can see what I'm talking about here. because this is a part of it too. When we talking about capnomics and Saintnomics, the main thing is you got to be aware of the numbers. You got to understand the numbers. Once again, this is the New Orleans Saints 2020 salary cap situation. This is the salary cap. As you can see, base salary is the first one up there. And you can see Mike Thomas, obviously, he's averaging $11 million a season. And then lo and behold, look who is behind him. Teron Armstead, averaging 10.7. You don't think the Saints going to try to work that back? You don't think the Saints going to try to work that back? I'm telling you. It definitely is. Now, Janoris Jenkins is underneath him. Of course, they're going to do something with that. AJ Klein is his contract is voided. Then, of course, look who it is. Sheldon Rankins, 7.6, and then Larry Warford, 7.6. These contracts are coming due. Sheldon is next year. Larry Warford is next year. And Demario Davis is next year. And, of course, Jared Cook got 7. But Jared's coming off the books. And below him is Kiko Alonso, 6.3. They're going to renegotiate that, get that out of here. And then below him is Patrick. See, it gets interesting when you actually look at the numbers. As you can see. Now, as you can see, Michael Thomas is the guy you say, oh, yeah, Q, we need Michael Thomas. Don't touch him. Of course, he just signed that deal. But Teron Armstead, man. Teron Armstead is making $10.7 million. 10.7. 10.7 for Teron Armstead. That's high, man. That's high. You don't think the Saints could draft an offensive lineman and peel that money off the books? You know? Rework that number. And Teron has missed games every season. He's a great offensive lineman when he plays. But he's not been the most reliable guy on the field. He's missed several games. He continues to miss games. So it's one of those things that you have to consider. And what you're going to do with that contract. You know, what the hell you're going to do. Now, I'm going to take a brief break here for a second. I'm going to take a brief break for a second. And I'm going to go check on my beans because I got cooking beans. That's right, I'm cooking beans. But listen, fam, I'm going to check on my beans. I know that just give me a brief second. I shall return. Let me check on these beans. So y'all study, look over this list here. And when I come back, we're going to talk about it. It should take just a brief second. So just give me a second. All right, family, I'm back with you. Had to check on them beans. Boy, them beans is good, man. I'm telling you what. Got that deer sausage in them. Oh, man. But anyway, I like to thank y'all for allowing me to check on my beans. Oh, man. Like I tell you, man, we run the Great Saints Think Tank, but I'm also a dad, so I have to cook. You know, I clean, I do all that kind of stuff. So, man, I'm what it is, bro. You know, Great Saints Think Tank, but we all got our responsibilities. But thank you, Kevin, for calling, bro. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all for giving me a little time to check on my beans. But anyway, as you've seen, you know, the list, family, we were sharing with y'all about the suitors. As you can see, as you study that list, you can see that there are several names on that list where you can get money from. And I know Kev and several other Great Saints family members were talking about, man, where we going to get the money from? What we gonna get? Tyra say yes indeed. Oh, they in there simmering. They simmering, y'all. I got a little spoon. Oh man, it's good too. I got all my season. I ain't gonna get all into it, man. You know what I'm saying? I was one of them people. When mama was in the kitchen cooking, I was up in there. She said, come here. Come on up in here. I said, what's up, man? And cut this up for me. Cut this up. Yeah. And then you sit there and, you know, she was entertaining, you know, and all that kind of stuff. And that's how we was able to get it. And she sprinkle of this and sprinkle of that. And, you know, you learn how to cook. I had my little boy up in there, I'm cutting up, you know, look at this. And, you know, and I was cooking and showing him, cutting up stuff, putting this together. I ain't gonna get all into it, but, you know, we from New Orleans, man. We know how to cook. Yeah, it is, Star. She already knows. She, you know how we do it down here, babe. But yeah, that's the great thing, though, family. You've seen some of those contracts, you know, that was involved, man, and it's interesting. That's why I was saying, you know, and I was telling Kev that one time. When you look at that list, and let me flash back to that list one more time, family. But flash back to that list and show y'all this list again, because truthfully, if you look at this list, Mike Thomas, the only one you're not going to touch here. Now, if you go below all of these guys, you're thinking about them in the long term. Teron Armstead, they might not touch him in terms of moving him off the team, but Armstead carries a base salary of 10.7. There are only 3 Saints currently that have double-digit salaries. So they were really fortunate. You have all that supreme talent, Alvin Kamara, as you can see if you glance to your right, the calculated, estimated market values of several Saints players. Drew Brees is 36.5 estimated. Teddy Bridgewater's 20 flat. Alvin Kamara's at 15.5. Now this is calculated market values at the annual clip, meaning per year estimates of what their calculated market values are. So 36.5 per year. That's why I was drawing that at y'all. Now they can fall short, but I know it'll be between 36 and possibly 28 for Drew Brees, depending on how Mickey Loomis grafts the contract together. Teddy Bridgewater is going to get 20 plus in the open market. Alvin Kamara, as you can see, is estimated annual at 15.5. What a jump. What a jump indeed. And of course, Sheldon Rankins, 11.4. Will you pay $11.4 million a year for Sheldon Rankins? Of course you wouldn't. Not from what he's showing you. David Onyemata, of course, Onyemata's market value will be drastically. Then I don't think you give Onyemata anywhere between 6 to 7 million to play for you on a 3 or 4 year deal. You could probably end up, I mean, he'll play because you'll have some competition from other teams because he's unrestricted. So they'll have teams looking at Onyemata say we want him. I say the Saints should look at getting him because you ain't gonna pay Sheldon Rankins for 11.4. And then, of course, Marshawn Lattimore is there with 10.1. So that shows you the money. Now, of course, you're going to pay Marshawn Lattimore 10.1. Janoris Jenkins at 10.1 right now, sitting on the books. So the Saints are a Super Bowl team. They've won 13 games in the last 2 seasons. 26 games over the last 2 years, right? And currently sitting right now, they only have 3 players on the active roster that makes $10 million. Of course, that's going to change once Drew Brees' numbers comes in, once his contract gets done. But really, do you see the Saints signing anybody at double-digit money, not named Alvin Kamara or Drew Brees, coming into this year? I don't see that happening unless they're fortunate to get a player that wants to come down here and they can get him and then, you know, pay him some money and then move some other people around. But the game is this. This is what I want to show y'all. We're going to start with Teron Armstead, long-term. We're thinking long-term. Short-term right now, of course, we know he'll stay on the team because he does protect Drew's blind side. Teron has a good relationship with Drew Brees. He's 10.7 base salary. That's base. Now, he does carry a 15.9 cap hit, which is probably the highest on the team until Drew Brees signed. I think his cap hit is the highest of all of them. Let me see. Let me change it. Yes, it is. Teron Armstead has the highest one, and he barely beat Drew Brees' old voided deal with 15.9. So he's not a guy that you would look to cut, or you're going to really have to pay that. But let me see what Teron Armstead's contract is currently. You know, let me pull that up and get that information because that'll help us get even more particular about whether or not he should stick around. Okay, currently, right now, he is in the, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's in the 5th year of a 6-year deal is this? 5 years, 65 million, right? 11 million signing bonus, annual at 13 million. But of course, each year's numbers goes up here, and 10.7 in 2019. This year is 10.7 again. Then the number drops for 10.1 as he turns 30 in 2021. And he has, after this year and next year, so 2 years of Teron Armstead left. Do you hold on to Teron Armstead after this year? And he'll have 1 year left with a base salary of 10.1. I say you ain't gonna, this dude is definitely a guy. And I love Teron Armstead, but you know, I just don't think he'll be on this team after this year, to be honest with you. I mean, come on. After Drew Brees leaves, what need be to keep that off a 30 offensive lineman at 10.1? You know, when you can use an offensive lineman there. So let's go flash back. Just food for thought here, just because you're going to need this information moving forward. Let me go back to the base salary. Okay, Teron Armstead's there. Do you have Janoris Jenkins at 10.1? He's definitely a top candidate for reconstruction of contract. If he don't agree to take a cut, what that contract looks like, anywhere between $5 to $7 million, you know, with Janoris Jenkins, a 3-year deal. You know, but that number has to drop from 10.1, because really that's the contract you would pay. You're going to pay Marshawn Lattimore that money. That's really what Marshawn Lattimore's money looks like. So AJ Klein's contract is voided right there, so ignore that one. Then it's Sheldon Rankins with 7.6 remaining there. Larry Warford was 7.6, so you got 2 of those starters with 7.6. Larry Warford's getting up in age. We know he's not a part of the long-term plan, is he? If you sign David Onyemata back, Sheldon Rankins, we'll see where he goes. But look at the calculated estimate for Sheldon Rankins, 11.4. He's going to go into the market, and the Saints are damn sure not going to pay 11.4 million for Sheldon Rankins. You know, come on, we know this. Demario Davis is 7.3. He earned every bit. He should be a guy. The Saints should be upping for a contract. I keep saying, where are they at for contracts? Demario Davis is definitely that guy. Elvin Kamara, even though you're not going to give him double-digit money like they're saying here on the market value list, but in good faith, it would have been a good deal to offer him an early contract before he got this money-grubbing agent. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, Jared Cook has 1 more year. He only signed a 2-year deal. He has 1 year left at $7 million. So you should be looking to get a tight end anyway. You need tight ends. The Saints offense worked well, and we keep forgetting because we get caught in this star-laden offense, but the Saints are at their best when they have 3 tight end sets of competent tight ends, and they don't have that. Jared Cook has been in and out of the lineup. I don't know how he made the Pro Bowl with 44 catches and 9 touchdowns. We kind of going really low. 44 catches and 9 touchdowns shouldn't have got you a Pro Bowl. I mean, this just me from past Pro Bowls. Maybe we dropping the bar a little low here, but that just seems kind of, I'm glad he did, but whatever. $7 million for Jared Cook. He comes off the books next year. So you're going to need, you should be looking at addressing the tight end position anyway. Josh Hill is there, but Josh is a career tight end. He had an opportunity to step up when the Saints put him in the starter position when Benjamin Watson was there, but Ben Watson took the job from him. It wasn't like he wasn't ready. So I don't know if Josh Hill will ever be anything but a compliment tight end. But anyway, the Saints need to find more tight ends to help out in that position. Kiko Alonso is definitely a candidate to get released. He had that injury. The Saints can clear their books of 16.3. They'll reach an injury settlement to put him off the books, so you gain $6 million there, or what, maybe $5 to $6 million back there. Patrick Robinson's another interesting candidate. $4.8 million for a slot man. For a guy to play in a slot. And then he didn't play damn near the entire season up until toward the end of the season when he was forced to play. But he had a guy that was making $2 million, no, actually not less than that, who was making like $1 million or so, who was PJ Williams, playing ahead of him, and he was a dime back making $4.8 million. The richest dime back in the NFL league last year. It had to be Patrick Robinson. Wasn't playing. That guy is definitely a guy to get a contract situation restructured. Nick Easton played well in spots. $4.5 million on the books. That's a good cheap route for a veteran offensive lineman, but do the Saints believe in him like that? Would it just be better to draft an offensive lineman, plug him next to McCoy and Rymchek, and you have 3 of your future offensive linemen there? Just saying. It's cheaper. Then we go down the list here. Malcolm Brown, who we won't touch. Will Lutz, you won't touch. Thomas Morstead, you won't touch. Latavius Murray is a bargain at 2.8 a season. Then, of course, Marshawn Lattimore's current deal at 2.5 goes up to 10.1 when they finally get the contract worked out. And then, of course, there's rumblings about Mario Edwards Jr. Mario Edwards should be a candidate for reconstruction, too. He didn't play that well. He didn't play that much last season, was hurt most of the season. I don't see how he made the team over other guys that were playing better at the position, but Mario Edwards did. He came on late in the year, but still questions to be asked. And then, of course, look at Ryan Ramczyk sitting down there at 1.6, man. Why isn't that guy why haven't he was offered the contract? And you want to understand why Elvin Kamara is pissed and why he playing? Look at Elvin Kamara's deal, man. Look at this. Look at the numbers. For all the people talking shit about Elvin Kamara, look at his numbers. And this guy's a 3-time Pro Bowler. Put an asterisk on the 3rd year of this Pro Bowl, of course. But prior to that, this guy, look at the money. Look at that, $977, $977.5. That's ridiculous for what this guy has done. He's been sitting on that third round ass contract like that for all those years. Saints ain't off from no contract. Look at the contract and understand why he pissed and why he acting like that, making business decisions on the field. You say, well, Q, money ain't, you got to be a professional. I understand that. But the team is slacking in their game. People want to blame the player, but the team is not doing what they're supposed to do. Elvin Kamara is no reason why he should still be on a 3rd round contract right now. They should have upped this contract. And Ramczyk, look at Ramczyk's deal. Look at this. Ramczyk should be bucking too. He should be bucking too. He got Ram in his name and need to be bucking. But Ramczyk and Kamara, look at this money here. He outpaid, he played his contract and he outplayed his contract. Something needs to be done there. Definitely needs to be done. And you got Latavius Murray making more money and it's just, you're disrespecting them, man, when you do that. And most of the people equate money with love, and that's how it is in the NFL. If you're going to pay, you show me you love me by paying me. That's how these players get money, take care of their families. Bottom line, and that's the standard. But anyway, family, I'd like to thank all the families joining us in the building. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all for joining us in the chat. We're going over in the live chat. Question, concerns, what up, Jose? Jose Calderon in the building. Big Ben. What up, Big Ben? Good to see you there, man. Jose and Big Ben in the building. Good to see the family, man, chiming in. I ain't seen them guys in a while, man. Good to see that extended family member in the building there. DLP 20. What up, DLP in the building as well? Good to see you too, family. Okay, let's keep it going here. Let's get some of the questions, man, of some of the families in the building as well. Devin says we have to do something to get at least another second or a 1st round pick. I agree with you. This draft is so loaded. Man, I wish we'd have had like 7 picks this draft because you would have been able to address offensive line situations, all that stuff, like a running back situation, because there's several really, really excellent running backs, wide receivers, tight ends. They got some really good tight ends in this draft. The offensive line. It's just a really good draft to build the future of the team for another 5 years. You have a solid draft to reinforce what you've done this year is a really good way to do that. And I will try to get as much as I can get out of this draft, seriously. JT said, hey, Q, tell everybody to be very careful at these parades. Another one tonight. Yeah, that's right, JT, thank you. It's parade season, family. Be very careful. They had a fatality that happened at one of the parades where a female was cut in half. She tried to go in between the parades. So a lot of stuff going on. People be drinking, acting crazy. So be mindful, be safe, be careful. Thank you, JT, for that, man. 504 Easy, who that to your family, says Tyler Badassi. I forgot that, from the Wisconsin, draft him and move him to guard. Yeah, I was watching that guy, man. That guy, Badassi or whatever his name is. But they kind of break it down and says badass. Nicknames him badass because of his name. He a lot of attitude with that guy. And he could be one of those guys you could move to guard. Saints love them guard center type players. And Badass, he got a wicked attitude. He's a rough player. I was watching some film on him. Boy, he moves you out of the way with attitude like you did something to him. Dada says Rankins Olmstead is trade bait, in my opinion. Just true. Market says 11.4. The estimated calculated value for Rankins is 11.4. Are you going to pay super seldom with the shimmy $11 million a season. Of course, that's the high. They're gonna try to press for the high. If that's the high, I'm gonna try to get the high. You know, it's what it is. Kevin says trade him to Detroit, and Detroit give us their first round pick. Jerome says then you have 2 non-playmakers, linebackers with $5+ million. Tyra says that I agree. Scoop says I'ma F you up a bean break though. Roll that beautiful. Red beans, baby. All right, let's got a fan. Okay, somebody try to call and they stop, so we're gonna keep it going here in the chat. Ernest Adams Jr., who that to you, says Drew returning. IMO is the proverbial monkey wrench in the Saints machine. An O-lineman will definitely be the first pick to help keep Drew on his feet. Next, key players will be asked to take you know what it is, their pay cut to pay for his last season, even though the Saints find money in the end. The chemistry will be off. Just waiting to see how this plays out over speculation. But listen, though you make valid points, but we've been knowing for seasons, for years, that the Saints have mortgaged the future for the present. You know, it's something like how the country is ran. You're taking the Social Security money to try to indict the president, then it don't work. Then what happened to the money? You know, it's absolutely crazy. What up, fam? Thank you for calling Sports Coma, who I'm speaking with.
What's going on, Q?
What's up, brother Paul? How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good, man. Listen here, hey, I wish I was close right there with you on them red beans, man, with your dish sauces. Hey, man, hey, I'll bring the cornbread, the Luann, drink, man. We can do this thing.
Brother Paul, I had a friend of mine, man. He went in the woods and shot a few deer during deer season last year, and he went to the processors and he had some deer sausage put together. And he had brung me some deer sausage, man. And man, he had where they put pineapple in there. Had chunks of pineapple up in there. And I was like, man, it was good, man. I had made something for my boys last week, and they were all over that deer. I said, you know, I'm gonna save some deer sausage, put in my red bean. I finally got an opportunity to do it. So, you know, it was kind of a busy day for me, but it's all good though. But yeah, I'm happy about that.
I know they smell more wonderful than the Saints.
I was belling them right now, brother Pops. Like I said, hold on, I gotta take a bean break here. Go check on my beans, you know.
You do a little rice, little cornbread, Q, that's true. You don't even need no meat.
There you go. You all right? You already know, brother. You already know. You put that cornbread with it, we good to go, brother. You good to go.
That Louisiana tea, it's good night. Good night.
You know how we do.
I'm telling you, man.
You know how we do, brother Paul. You know how we do, my brother.
Yeah, Q. I was just sitting up here thinking, man. We finna take Gail Benson out as the owner for right now. I'm finna step in there. First thing I would do. Is demote Mickey Loomis to assistant GM manager. I would make Jeff Ireland the president and the GM so we can get some sensibility over there on Airline Street. Mm-hmm. And number 2, I say, hey, ring in Sean Payton. If you don't, then you're going to be out the door. That's what I would do. So Sean Payton, man, you know, listen, decided Drew Brees to sit the face back at least 4 years. Because like you said, Q, they're not going to draft a quarterback. And I said in the chat, and I say it again, you heard it first, Q, if we don't have no quarterback for the next 4 to 5 years, we don't have nobody to blame but Sean Payton. I don't know why. I know he loved Drew Brees, but hey, sometimes he don't know how to let go. He got to let go in complex. It's like we're going to have to bring him to a group therapy or we're going to have him have some kind of training on how to let things go, Q. I mean, you can't keep holding on to the past. You know, your 3 playoff failures ought to force you to try to do something different, but he don't want to do that. What you think, Q?
I agree with you, brother Paul. You know, man, you lockstep on that, man. I think, you know, they're gonna have to come out of mind, bro. They got to come out of regular mind of handling some of these things. And you know, like I said, I wanted Drew to come back. I'm on call for that. I think a lot of people misinterpret, you know, my thinking when my critical thinking as like I had a comment I answered to about saying I was hating on Taysom. And I said I'm not hating on Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill is I've often said Drew Brees If he comes back, I would love to have Drew back, but at the right price. That's my stance. I've said about Taysom Hill that I feel that Taysom Hill should be starting. He should be the starting quarterback. If they wanted him and they seen him as a starter, he's Steve Young, they should have turned it over to him. I say that it makes for exciting football if you got Taysom Hill back there. But if you give Taysom Hill a running game and his ability to scramble creates a whole nother problem for opposing defenses and opposing teams, period. But it's just a shame that Sean Payton didn't want to go out on that ledge. He did not want to go out on that ledge. And he didn't want to give the whole offense to him. So this is a series of decisions that are starting to be really conservative. That's really starting to kind of nudge at me a bit, because you can't always be. Because some of these you got to step out there.
The went back at least 25 years over there, Allied Drive. That's some of that old Jim Mora thinking and Dicker jump. Go ahead. I
think you're right. I think a lot of that's what I've been questioning. Like in previous years, I didn't have that issue. Of question. I pretty much knew what the direction of the team was, but you can see the tea leaves for the most part and see what's going on. And I was often said to myself, it should be a plan in place to let Drew go into the sunset and bring another quarterback in out to run the team. That's and Taysom Hill, you mishmashed both quarterbacks. You had Teddy Bridgewater here. You told him he was the heir apparent. You give up a 3rd round pick. I wish you had that 3rd round back this goddamn year, don't you? You gave a 3rd round pick up for Teddy Bridgewater. And he was there for that half a year when they gave him, and then a full year, which he re-signed at a discount to the Saints because he was told to be heir apparent. We done covered this ad nauseam. Then Taysom Hill was told the same thing, even though Sean Payton told Teddy Bridgewater that, and now said in the Super Bowl interview of a few weeks ago that it is unrealistic that we're going to bring all 3 of them back. He already know who he's going to bring back. But the mere fact that he planned it like that shows a certain fakeness to him that I can't ignore but to call out.
Oh, yeah, you got to, Q. Because to tell you the truth, Q, it should be Taysom Hill or Teddy Bridgewater. Even if you see, he should have kept his mouth closed. Q, Sean Payton always showing his cards at the table. But anyway, it should be Teddy Bridgewater and Taysom Hill battling for the starting quarterback next year. He could have had Drew Brees retire. Q, Big Q, and could have made him an offensive assistant and could have let him roll on in the sunset. We'd have been happy with that, Q. What you think?
I mean, that was the ideal scenario. Drew Brees had to think about coming back, and I'm like, listen, you got to really think about passing up 28, 30. You got $30 million, 35.5 annual market value. That his market value is higher than most quarterbacks, than any other quarterback's value on the market. His estimated market, his 35.5,
almost 37 million.
Is currently. I mean, I don't know if it went up, but according to Sport Track, it's saying 35.5. That's higher than any other quarterback annual money. And he's like, okay, you're gonna roll him. You're gonna roll what you call him? You're gonna fold him up right then and there. I'm like, it's no way in the world this man gonna turn down $28-30 million the way he loved money. This man made over $230 million off the Saints since he been a Saint. You mean to tell me he gonna leave 30-something million or 28, whatever it is, on the table? Absolutely not. So I mean, it was a time when you should know it's time to leave. Because imagine if you didn't bring him back, then of course you had to deal with the dead money aspect of it. But at the end, you could still it's a way around that. But it's just Sean Payton wasn't ready yet to turn it over to Taysom. And I was saying, why not? Why not?
That's sad,
but it is.
You know what? To me, he ain't got no confidence in his coaching and training. I'm just going to say it. I mean, you training and preparing these players, and you ain't ready for the man to take the helm, then you ain't got no confidence in what you done taught us.
Yeah. So that
reflects on you as the coach.
That's the coach. The coach is saying that in terms of the man been here since 2017. But if it comes down to a battle between Drew Brees and Taysom Hill, that's Drew all the way. Drew knows this offense inside and out. He knows the coaching staff. He has a familiarity with the players. He has Mike Thomas. The offense is still there, waiting for him to pilot it. So, I mean, you just add other pieces around to protect him for another year, and we'll see how that goes. But it's a decision already made. Now we just have to deal with it and see whether or not it's a long-term approach that they take in the draft and in free agency, or a short-term approach to try to win a Super Bowl and then worry about the ramifications after they win it. Because there's such a thing that happened, like what the 49ers did. They sold out with draft picks to get Emmanuel Sanders and other moves to get to the Super Bowl. But now there's a price to pay after the Super Bowl. What happens? You know, you sold out with the Garoppolo contract and all that. So it's the same thing with the Saints. We sold out, we selling out to get the Super Bowl, and then we'll deal with the ramifications when the next year come around. But that could be a scenario as far as that concerned. So I'm like saying either approach would be interesting. So we'll see just how it goes.
Q. Sean Payton is big dog trying to dress the quarterback next year, but you never know, Q. You know, college is just like pro, just like the quarterback at Clemson, Lawrence. You know, he could get hurt. Anything could happen. He could, something could happen. He could get kicked out of school or something. You know, you just never can tell. From season to season how things gonna turn out. I'm telling you, if Sean Payton gonna want to kick himself if he don't draft no quarterback this year. Ain't no need of trying to wait till next year because you don't know what you're gonna be looking at. What you think?
I just think they ain't gonna do it. I mean, if you bring it, it'll tell you everything you need to know. If the Saints won't address the quarterback position, because I'm looking at it like this: Drew Brees is back. That means Taysom Hill is gonna come back because Sean Payton's he's gonna definitely try to do his best to bring Taysom Hill back. He could sign him before the market starts. Or my thing is why they didn't sign him now is because they're gonna let the market dictate what his value is. So if somebody's willing to pay $1 million or $2 million, they're gonna pay whatever it is. I don't think they'll go over $5 million. You know, it might be a team that won't pay him that much because that's a first round tender. That's why it's set that high. I don't see a team paying in that love with Taysom when they pay him $5 million. If that happens, the Saints could think about letting him go and getting a first round draft pick that way. Because you tender him a first round draft pick, you let them get him, you give me your first round draft pick, you can have Taysom Hill. And I just don't see that happening. So I see the Saints could probably end up bringing him back. And then if they bring him back, you can't use gadget Taysom Hill unless you have a veteran quarterback that's reliable enough to fill in for Drew Brees if something happens to him. So if that's not a rookie quarterback,
I trying to get Phillip Rivers. I'd be trying to get Rivers here now.
I just don't see Rivers coming. I don't see him coming because he gonna command a payday. And Rivers he wants to play for another couple of years anyway. So I just don't. Once you decided on Drew Brees, you don't have you don't have the money to go out and get another big time quarterback to play behind him. You're gonna have to find a veteran at league minimum, or somebody that's willing to come to learn behind Drew Brees and Sean Payton's offense at a discount. That's what kind of guy you're going to end up getting. And if that happens, then, of course, once he signs Taysom and Brees back, the third quarterback position, that dude is going to be a veteran quarterback. It will not be a rookie. I'll be really surprised if they draft a quarterback, then put him behind him and then have to – no. They're going to put a veteran there because they're going to try to get a cheaper version of Teddy Bridgewater. It's pretty much what they're going to do and try to repeat that success. Add a few more pieces around and move forward.
Yeah, we try to dig up J.T. Barrett again.
I don't think Barrett will even be. He'll come into camp and play. He'll be the fourth quarterback like he always is. But I just don't think he breaks the lineup. I don't think I think the Saints are going to find a veteran quarterback, and there's several out there that'll come and play. Like if you got a guy that come and play for next to nothing, like a veteran guy sits underneath Drew Brees, and if something happens, Drew comes in to throw the ball, stuff like that. But I'm not expecting them to spend a lot of money on that dude because Taysom Hill's going to get a chunk of change, and they'll have to pay Drew. So whoever it is will be a league minimum guy. That's why I say the rookie draft pick quarterback will not exist. Because if you do that formula, then you will look at offensive linemen to fill in for the left guard position if Eason's not the man, or if you like Eason, possibly you're going after a tight end. Maybe I ain't gonna say a tight end that high, but definitely maybe another wide receiver, perhaps a cornerback, perhaps a defensive pass rusher opposite, another edge rusher that can help out with Davenport because his injury issues. Perhaps a linebacker to fall to you there that you can pair with with Demario Davis, maybe a safety like Grant Delpit or McKinley fall to you.
Man,
Maybe one of those guys fall to you there, and you may be able to get. It could be a series of things, but we'll see how it falls for the Saints. But in turns, it does start to shape up the free agency picture in terms of how the Saints are approaching. I expect them to use the same philosophy with Sean Payton and Taysom Hill coming back, because the most that anybody is going to probably offer for Taysom is $5 million. If they offer $5 million for Taysom Hill, Sean Payton will let him walk and take that first round draft pick, because that's what the tender needs to be to get a first round draft pick. $5 million.
But you know what, Q? Sean Payton go to kick himself. You need to be looking for a quarterback for the future. That's your cornerstone that you build the rest of the house around. I mean, it's just like Sean Payton thinking, the plane's on fire. He's grabbing the parachute, and there's a hole in the parachute. Then the backup parachute got one, too. And you know what's going to happen? You're going to crash by not getting a quarterback. I mean, he's really aggravating me with this, because Drew, and ain't no guarantee Drew may not even last the whole season. He may decide to retire, or get hurt or something, I mean, Sean Payton, we've had quarterback controversy in the past, but I think this is the worst, Q. I really do. Because Sean Payton is not thinking about the future. He wants to live in the now, Yeah. And if he don't, and he's the problem. If he don't change his coach's approach, we ain't gonna make the Super Bowl next year. Be a first round and out again. And so much as he hates change, come on, man, he kidding himself, Q. What do you think?
I mean, I just sooner or later, reality got to hit you, and I just think that right now, Sean Payton, the transition that he was speaking of, I don't think he's ready for that transition, because the philosophy that it appears that he's using is to bring back. He got Drew Brees to come back, and of course they're gonna fixate on getting Taysom so he can run the gimmick offense. I'm not too much of a fan. Let me put it to you like this: watching Taysom Hill does that is exciting, but it's a price to pay for that, because when you're doing that with Taysom Hill, the wide receivers that we need to develop are not getting developed. We don't have a slot man, which the Saints offense really works well with a slot man. We don't have a slot man. We've become really a three-dimensional offense. Drew Brees, Mike Thomas, Elvin Kamara, and then you throw in Jared Cook, who's off and on there. That's not how it's supposed to go.
Up and down,
right. That's not how it's supposed to go. The Saints supposed to have they're supposed to have a slot man. We've always had a slot man to bail us out. We've always had three decent tight ends to help out with blocking and other duties such as that. When something happens, we have reliable tight ends. We don't so much have that. The wide receiver room is severely suffering. And I say severely suffering outside of Mike Thomas and the punt return, kick returner, Deontay Harris, who are both Pro Bowlers. The wide receiver room is extremely weak. And I'm not calling, disrespecting the wide receivers in there. I'm saying weak because nobody's getting developed. Everybody is having a really bad year. Everybody had a terrible year. If Ted Ginn Jr. had a terrible year, Traquan Smith had a super terrible year. I mean, the wide receiver room was really bad this year. And people not looking at that because they're looking at the wins and the stats. But those stats and wins are based off of 1 or 2 or 3 players. They had exceptional numbers. Mike Thomas caught enough passes for at least 2 really good wide receivers this year. Exactly. I mean, and it's just it just goes on. And then of course Elvin Kamara comes out the backfield when he's not running the ball as a wide receiver. He catches 70-something balls a year. So we need we need to fix the slot position. We need another complement wide receiver position, and we need to focus on making the wide receivers that we do have in the wide receiver room better, and not just running gimmick packages with Taysom Hill in there all the time. Let's develop the running backs. Let's develop the wide receivers. And the best way to do that is by allowing them to play during game time situations. And I often said that we shouldn't have three active running backs. You shouldn't have 3 running backs on the team, because Sean Payton only used 2 of them, really only 1. Sure. And if he's forced to use 2, what you keeping 3 for? You know what? You think what's the boy name from you think he's Kyle Shanahan or somebody?
Did Dwayne Washington even get a touchdown last year? He played, but he played like it's one of the games where he was blowing somebody else and they put him in there for a little bit. But I'm just saying he plays special teams, but come on, man. If the man's on the roster, utilize him. You know what I'm saying? Utilize him. It's just like, I just don't understand. It's like it's
it just floors me. You get the most
So
value
they
out of players that you have.
figure out a fullback, Q, so you know how sorry that's got to be. What kind of thinking is that? That's backwards, man. And that's what it is, Q. In a nutshell, I really see the team digressing, and it's Sean Payton's fault because, like you said, you don't have nobody in that front office that really mean. You just really don't. Because if he really want this team to win, Q, he'd turn over that play calling over there to Pete Carmichael and shut his mouth over there on the sideline.
He really
would.
And I don't think that's going to happen. We want that to happen because it makes the most sense. But Sean Payton is almost a control freak, almost the way he controlling the play calling responsibilities. You got an offensive coordinator, allow him to do that. But the thing that's really compelling is the fact that why I want him to relinquish the duties of an offensive coordinator and stop the play calling is because I would like him to focus on the entire team, especially his old offense. He's not focusing on his old offense because if he was, he would try to use a backup quarterback at every position that he possibly can. That don't make any sense to me. Unless you feeling that you only use Taysom Hill, Larry, he's an athlete. You're using him there because you feel like you put him ahead of other guys because you feel like he can bring something them other guys ain't bringing. If that's the case, then why are those other guys on the team anyway? If you want athleticism and toughness, then why aren't you bringing in guys that has that athleticism and toughness? Why are you moving a quarterback to play a gimmick position? I just don't understand that. Now he comes in and throws the ball and he's a lightning rod and he does stuff and I understand that aspect of it, but you could do that every so often. Throw it in there. But this guy is out. He's getting 15 to 20 snaps a game. Taysom Hill is. What about them other guys? Then we sit up here and then them guys sit up here and talk shit about Traquan Smith 8 ways from Tuesday. And he garbage, he this, that, and the third. But the man, how is he supposed to get better if he doesn't play? I'm just saying we need to focus on not just so much. I love Taysom Hill and Woody Brown. I love his toughness. He's a spark plug. I think the Saints should have let him be the quarterback. He should have played the quarterback position if Drew wasn't going to come back. And you say he's Steve Young. He should have got an opportunity to play the quarterback position. I think he would have been a pretty good quarterback for him because he got the deep ball. He's exciting. He was going through his rotations. He was throwing the ball. I watched Taysom Hill. That's one thing I had a question mark whether or not he could throw the deep balls, but how his short and intermediate routes look, reading that, going through his progressions, he showed that in preseason. And I said, okay, I see what he's doing. But the thing is my thing is reading Sean Payton as the coach that I've been watching for all the time that I've been watching him is that I think he gonna do to Taysom Hill what he did to Teddy Bridgewater, which is lie to him and tell him that he's the future of the team, and then turn around and when the time comes, release him. We're gonna see what it looked like. We're gonna see how true it is. His intentions were. Is if he signs Taysom Hill to a 1-year deal, same thing he do with Teddy Bridgewater. We gonna know where he going. We're gonna know where he going.
You know Sean Payton better than Sean Payton.
No, I'm inside and out, bro. No, I'm inside and out.
You took psychology and all that good stuff, his tendencies and how the mind flows and how it has that dependability and don't know how to let go of things. And that's what's going. Like I say, Sean Payton go keep a hold. Eventually he go coach himself out of New Orleans because the fan base gonna get tired of it. Get bumped out the playoffs next year and see what happens. You know.
Yeah, it's going to be something.
Smith, he may not even make it through training camp in the preseason, Q. So if they bring in a receiver like Shinoda or Lamb, he going to be through. Watch.
I mean, the Saints definitely need somebody, that can come in and help the team on offense. I'm not against, and I'm going to say this, bro. I'm not against having too many, weapons for Drew Brees to have. Remember, if you watch previous incarnation of the Saints offense, they always had more than one weapon there for Drew Brees to spread the ball around. I remember there was several seasons when the Saints were when Drew Brees was spreading the ball around so much, they didn't know where he was going with the ball. They had 4 wide receivers that had over 40 catches in one season for the Saints, and I think he did that several times. Because when you give Drew the weapons, Drew cycles through and he finds the open guy, regardless of who they are.
You had Joe Horn, you had Lance Moore, you had Jimmy Graham, you had Dinkins. You could just name them all.
All that. You had them all out there running around, and Drew would find them. And that's what I'm saying with them. We got to give Drew some more weapons. And that'll take the pressure off of Drew Brees, where he can have a quick strike offense. And people saying, well, he can't throw the ball over 40. He can push the ball. And then this is another thing. If you got Drew Brees there, you got to limit his attempts. Like, let's not get him per game throwing over 30 attempts a game. Let's minimize his attempts and let's be able to run that. Right, we can't do that. Every once or twice, maybe you can stick one of those games where he throw for like 40, have 40 attempts in that game or something. But his regular attempt count should be anything less than 30 attempts per game, because you're modifying that number because of the long duration, the long season that he's playing. And you're talking about a Super Bowl run and deep in the playoffs, you got to moderate that as well. So utilizing the running game and giving him weapons besides Mike Thomas, besides Jared Cook, besides Elvin Kamara, giving him weapons in the slot, giving him a slot man he can throw the ball to, because we haven't had that slot man here, giving him another weapon outside of Mike Thomas. Give Drew a good fullback that can catch the ball out the backfield, that can also block. You have to have that too, because we're talking about the guy outside of Mike Thomas, and that's true, we need him. But nobody talking about the slot man but me. Nobody talking about the fullback except for me, because Zach Lyon retired. He couldn't play anymore. He gave it up. So you do need a guy that can catch the ball out the backfield, that can block, that can be an H-man type dude like Who-Man was. Who-Man could come in. He could be a tight end, a fullback. You can give him the ball to run in short yardage plays for if you need him. You got to find that guy. You got to find that guy. And I wouldn't even say as much as, I don't know, Sean Payton would do it, but if you're going to keep 3 running backs, at least keep 3 running backs where you can kind of implement in your running scheme, similar to what the guy 49ers, Kyle Shanahan, do. He has 3 really good running backs, and boy, does he use them.
He sure do. And it makes running, kicking, and blocking.
Everything. And the great thing about that offense is the fact that each one of those guys got a different style. And when you running them like that, the defense has to adjust toward their style, and it's hard to get a beam on their style of running, because all of them, one is faster than the other, one is more powerful than the other. And when you hit them like that, that's a difference. I just wish that Sean Payton could use that innovation in this offense. You know, like we would talk about the defense the prior year, how they used J.J. Watt and moved J.J. Watt from the left to the right before the snap happens. You know, they switch and put him over top of the.
They should have moved Calvert George. It was if they cut the kid. Yeah. I don't think he's going to make it out next season either on the team. I really don't.
But, you know, it's a few slight innovations we got to worry about. That's all, Paul. That's all I'm saying. Improving, getting that extra stuff, making those few pickups. And watch how different the Saints offense look in the end. I mean, it's going to look like the olden Saints of 5 years ago when the ball is going out, it's getting to, and it seems like there's a man open every time he drops back. And you're going to see that offense flow with no problem at all. You don't have to force feed Mike Thomas the ball. The offense just going to flow.
That's true, Q. And like you say, if Champagne would have been smart, he should have made Nolan the defensive coordinator and got rid of Allen, that secondary man. Come on now. I think Nolan could have fixed that problem, but he didn't give him a chance.
Right.
You know? Right. And he's just not building for the future. Well, and it's really troubling me, Q.
Well, I mean, you had Nolan there, but he had offensive assistant. I mean, he was an assistant coach as well. I mean, the guy had a lot of, you know, he was a linebackers coach, but really he was intelligent enough to be the defensive coordinator. I mean, if Dennis Allen is Sean Payton, one of his closest friends, they get along real well. And if Dennis Allen wasn't there, I would dare say that you definitely would have Nolan would have been a defensive coordinator. All that experience, he was a head coach, and he runs some pretty mean defenses too. So, like I said, he's going to Dallas, and they got a good one. Right. You know, so I mean.
I don't think Nolan would have put over none of Sean Payton crap. Hey, coach, you run your offense and leave my defense alone. That's probably why he didn't get it.
Well, Dennis Allen does have that. He gave Sean Payton gave Dennis Allen complete control of that defense. He don't even mess with him or say him. He don't even look at him dirty when the defense get burnt consistently on plays or get gashed. He'll look like he did the special teams coordinator. He looked at the special teams coordinator real evilly. When he had when he had a miscue on special team.
Still shock over there, man. Yeah. He hold his head down, all this crazy stuff.
Right, but he don't do that to Dennis Allen.
I would go to the press box, Q. I would sit down on the sideline, put up with Peyton abuse. I couldn't do it. Go to the press box. That's the best, safest place where you and your coach going to be butting heads. Go to the press box. Right. At least if he going to push you out, you can take that headset off. I ain't listening to none of you say.
Right, he could go up to the press box, but he like his action on the field. I noticed that about him. He's right on the field. I noticed that about Dennis Allen as well. Yeah.
But yeah, Q. But like I said, if he's kicking himself, he don't get no quarterback because you're not going to have this pick of the litter next year. I just don't feel that, Q. I really don't.
This a rare draft, Brother Paul. I mean, the free agency period, not so much. It's a very lame free agency period, but an exceptional draft. I'm not gonna tell you no different.
In the 83 draft because you got more people at the skill sets. What you think?
I agree. I mean, it's just like I said. I watched a lot of drafts, but this draft, I'm really excited about the skill positions, players in this draft: running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, quarterbacks, offensive linemen, defensive ends, defensive edge rushers. The top 3, 4, 5 really good ones. Linebackers look good. Cornerbacks, they got pretty decent cornerback, and the safety crop is a little short. But I'm the skill position players in this draft, the wide receivers, running backs, and quarterbacks are exceptional. I'm really interested. They're saying as many as 5 quarterbacks in the first round. That's really interesting.
I will say this, Q. I'm gonna let you go. If you're a general manager and an owner, and you can't improve your team and upgrade off this draft, you really don't know what you're doing. I'm just gonna say it like that.
That's right. We got one of the best, Brother Paul. We got Jeff Ireland in there, who was one of the best. So we should have a pretty good draft. So hopefully we can some kind of way get some more picks, whether it's the compensatory picks that, they hand out after free agency is over with, where you see how many players that you lost. Perhaps the Saints will get a few compensatory picks to help out, but those usually fall in the 7th or 6th round, something like that. So we can still make magic happen with that. That's how we found Caden Ellis. So I'm not mad. Whatever picks we have, we got to work with them.
Every piece going to need to be helped because I think, Q, if we talk about that 4-5 year wonder, I think it's going to got down to this year. Next season going to be it for the Drew Brees era. You just might as well come to grips with it.
Yep. You're right, Brother Paul. It's going to be it's a Super Bowl of bust year, no doubt about it.
All right, Q, take it easy now.
Thank you, my brother. Now? Who that to you? Appreciate you, brother. Now. Who that?
Don't eat too many beans now.
I got them old boys. They're gonna help me eat a handful of that, Brother Paul.
Oh, yeah, you got the linebackers. All right now.
All right, brother. Peace out. That's Brother Paul, man. Appreciate the call. Thank Kevin and Paul calling on. And Kevin asked me what kind of beans. Red beans, Kevin. That's what red beans, brother. Big ups to the family members in the chat. 504 Easy and the rest of the family chiming in. DLP 2600 says, Q, Emmanuel Butler is already training. He is IG doing all kinds of training. He's motivated. I would like to see this you guys get an opportunity. I would like to see him too, bro. But, he was hurt during the season. He's an interesting character, man. Really interesting. Big guy. More of a possession receiver type of dude. We'll see. We'll see how it goes, man. The Saints and Tamai just disrespected these young guys on the practice squad, but they got a few interesting people that we got on the practice squad. As far as the wide receiver position go, Harris is another interesting commodity they picked up as a future signing toward the end of the year. But interesting to see what he is. Remember, he was a part of the crop of those wide receivers that came in when Antonio Brown came in. He was one of the guys that the team ultimately signed. So we'll see how that pans out. All right, fam. Thanks for calling Sports Coma. Who I'm speaking with?
Hello?
Yeah, you're on air, fam.
Say that again, Pepper?
I said, there you go. There you go.
Hey, Pepper.
What up, Scoop? There you go.
Hey, too much, Pepper. How are you, baby?
Good,
how are you,
bro.
Man?
Good to hear from you, brother. How you doing, brother?
Yes, sir. I'm well, man. I'm well. I've been working up a storm here. I couldn't get hold of you a couple weeks, man.
I know. I seen it in the chat. The last show is like, man, I'm still working. I'm almost done.
Oh, my God. I'll be slaving trying to get there. I'm like, damn, don't hang up yet. Not yet. Yo, you always get me, though, man. It seems like as soon as I'm done with the job, I'll come out to my car. I turn on the joint in the car. I'll be like, oh, shit. Missed it again. Drat.
Good, bro. We here, bro. It fell just right, bro, on Saturday night, bro. We got the family all together, bro, and it feel good Saturday night to get all the family. A few of the family members we sit on here school where I ain't seen in a while, so it's good to see all the family members in the chat, man, for real.
Oh yeah. I'll jump on that real quick because Jose, slow down, Pep, and tear my online boo. What you doing, man? That's my online boo, Pep. Yo, how you been though, homie? I've been trying to get to you, bro. I know you got your birthday coming up tomorrow and whatnot.
Yeah, bro, doing it, bro. Nothing much, Scoob. It's the same old, bro. Just keeping it going on, bro. Keeping it strong. Talking Saints, bro. And you know it's all about family with me, cuz.
That's it. That's it. It can't be much else. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
That's it. No family make us do what we do.
I know you've been all right too, my cuz. You been all right up there?
Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. Like I said, it's too much work, but I mean that's
That's
not
a good
bad
thing.
problem.
No, that's a good thing, Scoop. You got a heavy work
Right,
season,
right.
and you have a heavy play season. That's how the balance go, baby.
Exactly. Kids need the G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip. You know what I mean? You gotta eat. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go down.
There you go.
So I'm we talking a couple. I ain't got no points in that. I'm just hollering. You know what I'm saying? But so we were talking about draft needs, man, and all that other stuff. I don't like to be the cat get into all the specifics, like we need this guy or Jake from State Farm. You know what I mean? None of that. I don't want to hear any of it. You know what I mean? I don't want nothing. I don't care. But I just know the positions. You know what I'm saying? If we don't get an O-line guy, something got to give. We need an O-line guy. There's no way out because number 72 can't keep doing this on again, off again bullshit. The left side of that line be broken. It's broken. And that's Drew's best side. It's got to be his best side.
Mm-hmm.
The way the offense is built up, we need them strong guards because Drew climbs the pocket. He moves left and right slowly. You know what I mean? Not slowly, but he moves left and right a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But he don't do too much running around. So tackles be damned, so to speak. But you always need that left tackle.
Yeah.
Now we were gifted Ram. And you can't, that right tackle. He's probably gonna be the best right tackle in football in the next couple of years. However, we were gifted him, so we'll take that. But as far as it go, we need them guards to play great, and like they didn't do against Minnesota. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
Is Warford suspect? Potentially. However, the left side of that line don't look so good. You know what I mean? So we need some O-line. The next in line, I would say we need D-back help because them suckers, boy, I mean, even if we do Janoris Jenkins, what the hell is he doing? $11 million or something? Like, what the hell? I mean,
Yeah, 11.5 right now, Scoob, until they restructure.
Yeah, not even, because we ain't, nope, sorry, Jackrabbit, peace pimping, nope, we ain't going to do that. If you come back for a good 7, 6, something like that, a nice signing bonus and a good 6.5 a year for a front-end loaded joint, not even a front-end loaded joint, a back-end heavy joint so we can get rid of you in 2 years. You know what I mean? It'd be good for us. We can't deal with that.
Yeah,
so,
let me ask you this, Scoob. Not to cut you off, bro, but you mentioned making some great points about the cornerback position with Janoris Jenkins. So I mean, I got 2 questions I want to ask because you when you talking, you put these questions in my head. Now, if you feel that way about Janoris Jenkins, I know you feel that way about Patrick Robinson. And if you get rid of both those guys, you only return one defensive back to see. So everybody else is going to be basically new in the defensive backfield back there. Let me ask you this. The first question is, how would you handle the Janoris Jenkins contract? Would you re-sign him or would you release him? Same thing with Patrick Robinson. And would you address the position through the free agency or through the draft?
I would release P-Rob last month.
Okay.
fast as he can get on the fastest thing smoking. I would drive him out the motherfucker. If I could. No more of that guy. More of that guy. Now, Janoris, I would walk a fine line with. I would tell him, let's see what we can do here. See, can you come back for a nice team friendly deal? If not, and this is not going to sound that great. This is not going to sound the greatest, but Eli Apple wasn't doing that bad the first 8-9 games of the season, bro. He really wasn't.
Right.
He really wasn't.
He had a few games in there, yeah, but for the most part, he wasn't solid.
Yeah. Well, so do we hope he can progress at a lower number and draft somebody and teach him, or do we go for somebody altogether new? Because if you get rid of everybody, then I mean, what you gonna do? You're gonna have to teach new guys altogether.
Right.
Anyway, Eli came in at a high enough pick, and he shows signs of brilliance or flashes of brilliance. But what do you do? It's kind of catch-22. But if Janoris doesn't bow down to the nice number and take the 2-year good contract and the backloaded bullshit that he know he ain't gonna get paid, then you gotta go through free agency because technically getting somebody out of the draft to play now ain't what we got our eyes focused on, because Drew Brees is coming back for this last song, and we can't have a guy that we got to develop into the system. You know, and then we got the fact that Torrance left, and his name, Lee Torrance left, so we don't have the positional out on the field guy. You know, I mean, because Aaron Glenn is he's good for what he do, but damn it, we need that support. And Lee Torrance is gone, and then so is Nolan. So, you know, I don't know. You can't. I don't think we have time to draft and develop versus grabbing somebody or keeping one of our own.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Right. So then, outside, did I answer that question?
Yeah, you answered this. Yes, Scoop.
All right, cool. So outside of that, I would think that we need to go from there. O-line, then I say D-back, then I would say linebacker / receiver will be our next area of need.
Okay.
And the reason why I say linebacker / receiver, because there's hope for both positions, even though it seems bleak. Now, we got Mr. My shoulder hurts every damn year, but when he's in there, he's a monster. You know, the golden locks flying all over the field. Anzalone, when he's in there, he's a monster.
Right.
He is one monster, and he can play right side and he can play middle like a mug. You know what I mean? And he's really, really great at it. So then you got Caden Ellis, who showed major flashes of brilliance. Plus, his papa was an NFL player, so he's ready. I mean, he got the breeding stock. That boy's ready.
Right.
You know, and you listen to his mental makeup. You understand that he's a high IQ player. And that's what Sean Payton thrives off of. You know, that's why Latavius Murray can't get in the goddamn lineup, because he's Class A dum-dum. Sean Payton don't like slow players. You can't pick up that playbook quick. You don't get in there. I don't give a good goddamn what he promised you. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to make the cut, because he don't do that. If you can't grasp it, he needs to know that you have a high football acumen. If you don't have it, no field will you see. Don't play that game.
Yeah, you got to be confident from him. That's a great point, Scoop.
Oh, yeah. It shows every time. That's why AK is all over the field.
Mm-hmm.
This kid in 2 years learned fullback, tailback, slot receiver, and wide receiver routes. I mean, he knows Sean Payton's playbook inside and out. That's why I think they're going to pay him, because he's a generational talent, number one. The way his body flows, he's liquid. You know, that kid is incredible. And then his mentality makes sure that you keep a hold of him. You know what I'm saying? They just make sure that they keep them kinds of players. That's why he thrives. That's why he loves Drew Brees, other than Drew Brees is great. Mm-hmm. But Drew Brees' mentality is just there's nothing he doesn't know, and you can't throw something at him that he won't grasp in zero time. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's kind of where Sean is with that. But, I mean, that's why I say linebacker / receiver, because then you're looking at you got Colton Jumper, and then the boy that we got from the Jets, the outside linebacker that can play the stand up defensive end too. The hell was that kid's name?
You talking about Granderson?
No, from the Jets, the linebacker boy that plays DE and linebacker.
You talking about the other guy besides Demario Davis, Josh Martin?
Josh Martin.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Josh Martin, too. I mean, those guys, you know, they got some cats to work with at linebacker that you could bring in a real thumper, you know what I'm saying, to develop him and just let him come in and run loose, you know, on the plays where, you know, them second and longs or them second and, you know, non-meaningfuls, they can get in there and get his teeth, you know what I mean, into some deep, you know, it's, you know, that kind of thing. You got time to develop that, but we're going to pick up somebody. You know, he's going to pick up somebody in the off season, some free agent. But I don't know if he's got to make a big splash, because for all that, I mean, Craig Robertson going to stay around. He's suitable, but I mean, he's an excellent special teamer, so he's always going to be on the team. You know what I mean? So you can still feel that kind of veteran role there, and draft somebody young to kind of, you know, get him into the position in case Anzalone don't hold up. You know, but what I was saying about a receiver is you still have my boy, and I'm going to keep harping on this kid because his talent is immense, and that's that damn Kirkwood. Yeah. So, you know, he does not stay the healthiest, you know, in our scheme. He hasn't been the healthiest the last two, but He's got that excellent catch radius.
Yeah.
He got that speed burst.
Yep.
He can turn and stop on a dime. He's really quick. He's violent to the ball. He's powerful with his hands. He's Mike Thomas, opposite Mike Thomas, except for he got a little bit more speed. And when did Drew thrive the most? When he had what's old boy's name?
Lance Moore.
Lance
Willie
Moore
Snead.
was a slot receiver. He had those same kind of attributes, but it was Colston. Before
Meacham.
Colston, it was Meacham. Same thing. That's who he reminds me of. No, Every Henderson.
Henderson.
Reminds me of Henderson. Right. That when we had Henderson and who was the opposite? Who was the left side? The X. When Henderson was here.
I think wasn't that Joe? Hold up, Colston and Henderson, wasn't it? Yeah, it was Colston.
Colston and Henderson.
Colston
Right.
and Henderson. Yeah.
Those two, they can catch. Drew is a pinpoint guy.
Yeah.
So all you need to do is show him that break of day, and you gonna know where he's gonna put that ball. As long as you got that big catch radius, them tight hands, and you violent to that ball, you can attack that ball. That's what he needs, bro. He needs that completely every single time. Now, again, like I said, Kirkwood can't stay healthy, and I see Kevin talking about the best availability. It's the truth. However, that cat has that makeup. You see what I'm saying? So if they can keep that, if they can get him and get somebody to just be a little fast to it, like a little Bill Belichick-ish. You know, them little tight, them zone busting, speedy little slot guys. You know what I'm saying? That we have never had. You know, we had a little bit of it with old boy that's in Baltimore now. What's his name again? Snead. We had a little bit of that.
Right.
We had a little bit of that with him. You know what I'm saying? But he couldn't keep his attitude right enough to stay here. But that's what we need. We need them short yardage, little quick motherfuckers that catch that ball and get them serious yaks. That's where Drew is explosive. Now, for you wanting the Drew to throw 40 yards and 50 yards, ain't coming. So Sean realized that. What'd he do? He went out and got the best kicking team in football. He assembled the best kicking team in football as far as position. You know what I'm saying? So now we get you kick us the ball, and our guy can get 25, 30 yards. So now we're shortening the field where that 40-yard plus bomb don't come into effect as much. You got me? So now he needs those great receivers and the ability to get my favorite line, get his head out of his booty and run the freaking ball. You know what I'm saying? First and second down used to be the running play. When Deuce McAllister was here, goddamn it, what would you think? You're going to hand that ball to Deuce first and second down, and then third or whatever else we going. You know what I'm saying? We got it. However, no, not no more. He feels like he feels like AK could be, whatever. He's an explosive play away from a touchdown every down. So it's like, all right, I know I should be running the ball on first and second, but let's just see what we got with 41. Come on, let's go. And then Drew ain't never met a pass play that he didn't like, so he'll audible out into a pass play, to his detriment in a lot of cases. But you can't blame them. They're doing what Sean Payton is, known for. Drew's that guy. He's his extension on the field. So what the hell? You know what I mean? But all in all, they brought back Drew because he was the best player for the job. All right. You got Taysom Hill, who's supposed to be, the chosen one or whatever, but he truthfully can't read defenses as fast as Drew. Teddy Bridgewater can't read defenses as fast as Drew. At least Taysom presents the ability to run and give you the excitement, and he plays with a heart on. He got that kind of heart that just can will players around him. He can make players better. Teddy Bridgewater is like, okay, he's going to steadily run this. We're going to steadily get this going, and we're going to possibly score here or whatever, but let's just see if he could be riding a bike in the locker room after the game, or possibly not. We had a taste of losing with him, so we don't really know how's losing Teddy look. They see him in practice every day. We don't. He's average at best. So to command $20 or $30 million from him, sure, he told him he was going to be the heir apparent. But when he saw him in them 5 games and realized that he had to dumb down the offense to the dumbest dull roar, he was like, nah, that's not my guy. That's not my guy. He don't like that. He likes that supremely gifted mind. He loves that cerebral player. He can't stand a dum-dum.
But let me interject, Scoob, because I won't hold that point. I want you to enlighten me on that, because he did have to dumb down the offense with Teddy Bridgewater, because prior to that, Drew Brees was manning this position. The last guy to man it was Aaron Brooks before Drew Brees and Sean Payton regime started. But this is the thing I'm interested in knowing. Teddy Bridgewater is known for being a very intelligent quarterback. He's always had that label as being an intelligent quarterback. He didn't know the offense that well, but the little bit he did know, the team went undefeated underneath him. And you're thinking that's a part of it. But, Sean Payton not liking him, having his intelligence the same as Drew. But there's very few quarterbacks that do have that level of intelligence that's going to be able to match up like that. What's your thoughts on that?
Right, and that's the truth, and that's why he put the band together for one more year, because he said, okay, in my estimation, he thinks Teddy's really not that guy. And so if I do have to dumb it down between these two cats, I'd rather give it to the supremely gifted cat physically and let him just say, tout him for, he's the greatest. He's the best thing since, what do you call him?
Steve Young.
Montana. Steve Young. Oh, yeah, he's Steve Young. Gas him up, get Teddy the hell out of here, and pay him less to keep on to Ramcheck and sign Laddie Daddy and be able to have this money that Drew's getting ready to get rid of, getting ready to let loose of next year. And then we got Taysom for $5 to $8 million. That's way better than Teddy at 21, that we can still afford to sign some of these cats, so it's all business. It ain't going to be it's not popular. We ain't going to love it, never will. But the point is, it makes a lot more sense for him to go with Taysom than it does Teddy, for the simple fact that it's business. Damn Teddy having won 5 games in a row. You can't bring that back. But like I said, we don't know losing Teddy. With losing Teddy, at least we'll get, we'll understand that. We'll see what happens when that goes. But with losing Taysom, you'll figure like, well, goddamn it, this cat going to come back out here next game and he going to give it 150% again. We don't know who Teddy is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And he's seen both of them. He hasn't seen both of them in the quarterback position and see how it goes. But he sees Taysom gets out there and goes 100 miles an hour and 100% effort
as a gadget man, though, the Scoob. That's the thing. As a gadget man, he very seldomly allows him to throw the ball. So
right. But is he going 100%? Knowing that he's gadget guy, no, he's going 100% as in, I'm on this field to block this punt, so I'm going to give it 100% to block this punt.
That's true, but shouldn't he be, if that's the case, and you need more effort guys, isn't that an indictment of your ability to be able to find those type of guys? You mean to tell me that the answer to all the deficiencies as far as the wide receiver position, the running back position, the tight end position, and the special team position is Taysom Hill? Enlighten me.
No. Hell no. But Sean Payton knows. Sean Payton knows. You say, well, he can't do it. He can't. He hasn't. The guy. I heard you say the other day that you got disgruntled cats in the locker room because Taysom has to take.
Wouldn't you feel that way though, Scoob? Keep it real with me, as you always do. Wouldn't you feel that way? Let's say Scoob is Traquan Smith, and you have Teddy. You have all the snaps that a backup quarterback is getting at wide receiver, and you've played that position damn your entire career, your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And you all of a sudden you have this backup quarterback who couldn't make it as a backup quarterback, but he's filling in as wide receiver, running back. He get 15, 20 snaps a game. And we talking about reputations and reps tied to you making catches on your contract, which means that you get more money. And the fact that you have a guy that's taking your reps, he's also taking your money and your developmental time. Wouldn't that kind of put a spur in your boots and have you upset?
Hell yeah, I'll be waiting for him to walk in front of me down the steps. I'll be shoving him.
Trip his ass, huh?
He'd be gone. You're right. You're 100% right. But we can't fault Taysom for it.
No, I'm not faulting nobody for
like
it.
you say. The best availability is the best ability is availability, and he's got it. He gonna give you that. He gonna give you that go every time. Peyton had that. He's got the bullet. He got the target on him. He knows that the NFC South is gearing up to beat the Saints. You know what I'm saying? They getting it. They trying hard to knock us off. This is the first time ever we done won a division 3 times in a row. First time anybody in the NFC South won a division 2 times in a row ever in the history of the NFC South. And then we did it 3 times, so they gunning for us. He know that. The NFL is gunning for us because they see we got a great staff, pro scouting staff, college scouting staff. They see we putting things together over here. People are mimicking us, trying to be us, trying to poach our coaches. They get it. Peyton's got that target on his back, and he's trying to win now. He's trying to win last week, last year, now. Every time he gets a chance, he's trying to win. So putting Taysom all over the field is his best idea of how to win. You know, having Drew Brees throw the ball versus putting in Latavius Murray is his best idea to win. Is it a lot of fault in that? Sure it is, but that pressure is real to him. It's real to him, and he don't know how to do anything different than throw that goddamn ball and put the best players in position to catch the goddamn, you know what I mean, to make those plays successful to win. And it's with a whole lot of faults because he got Murray sitting over there that could be a battering ram in the third and fourth quarter, and Drew could just be going, you know, like I said to you before, the deep pass ain't as much about throwing it up and letting cats run under it as it is about timing and positioning. You know, the deep pass can go 40 yards, can be a 60-yard strike every single time with 20x if it's done right. If the guy runs the right route and turns for the ball and 40 yards away, it's in his hand and he's gone, the deep ball can look sweet every single time. But if you're looking for, we got Ted Ginn Jr. This cat never high points a ball, never comes back to a ball, wouldn't run the right route if you shot him. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't make him run the right route. He's not that guy. He's the type of dude that he needs that Taysom Hill ball, right? or Aaron Rodgers type of ball. Toss it up and let him target it and run it down. That's not what Drew is. That's not what he's going to be. He never was that guy. I think that kid was, I don't even know why. I think we just got him to get Carolina's coaching style and they plays and we just wind up keeping him. I don't see why he's here. He sucks. Everybody knows he's terrible. His talent ain't bargain basement, but he don't fit our scheme, never has. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I mean, I really didn't want to go this far, this long. I know Demi would have me with the fucking, she would have had a cane out by now. Thank God she ain't here today. But like Kevin dipped off earlier and a couple other cats tried to get in and get out. I want to get in and get out too. But you know, I should just do it like Uncle Paulie and just make them short little jaws like you. If Tua dropped to us, we'd be good. What you think, Q? What you think?
Uncle Paulie.
It won't seem like I'm on here so damn long. Oh shit. So I'm gonna get off here. I'm gonna leave the GM position to Kev because you know what I'm saying.
GM Kev.
More his stuff. Yeah. Right. I'm a Libra, so I just try to break shit down evenly. You know what I'm saying? I'll try to do the GM job. That's the hard part. Look, nigga, you got to go. I hate that guy. I'm like, well, you got to go, but we love your wife. Oh, snap. And one more time, I'm going to say to Jose, slow down, Pimper, because Tara's my online boo. You need to stop that. No, man, I always love talking to you, big homie, and I'm glad it's your birthday. You know what I mean?
Thank you, bro.
Returning yourself is always a great time.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it, Scoob. You the man, bro. Appreciate you, bro.
So what you be 21 twice tomorrow, or you?
Oh man, bro, add one to that, brother.
Oh snap!
Yeah, climbing the charts, baby. All
right, man. I love you, homie, and make it do what it do.
Appreciate you, bro. Thanks for the call. Good to talk to you, fam.
Yes, sir. Peace out.
Peace. That my dog Scoob, man, from Philadelphia. Diehard black and gold, man. Core member of the Great Saints think tank and the Sports Coma family. Big ups to my dog Scoob. Thanks for calling, fam. Good to hear from Scoob, man. It's been a while since Scoob called. Good to hear from him. Kevin and Paul, great individuals, man, here as well. Great information, man, to hear the brothers. See, at the Great Saints think tank, man, there's some intelligent people, man. And I think the Most High that we have them as family members, man, to bring all that great content, man. That was a lot of great points that Kevin was able to espouse upon the family. And also Paul and Scoob, you know, so it's just good, man, to hear all those great points. Scoob had a lot of great points as well, man. Talked a lot about the history of the team. And I agree with him. I like his thought process on that, man, to be honest with you. Big ups to Scoob and Kev and Paul for what they bring, man. We're really wise brothers. But moving ahead, fam, I think it was terrific, man. You know, we look at the mind frame of the Saints organization and notice what they're doing. And Scoob's right. The whole NFC South is on our heels, like unlike any other time. Carolina, they're coming from us. A couple of these teams, we actually swept them. They feel disrespected, and they changed up their staffs. Carolina fired their coach. Ryan Rivera didn't deserve to be fired, simply. But if you can't beat the Saints, Carolina fired him. Fired Ryan Rivera, who just was unemployed for like, what, a week? Less than a week before the Redskins picked him up. Loud. They switched coaches because Ryan Rivera, he just couldn't beat the Saints. You got to beat the Saints. And, of course, Bruce Arians is in the same NFC South. And, of course, you still have Atlanta's coach there, and that team is retooling to come at the Saints. They beat the Saints last year, and it almost helped them get their season together when they beat the Saints. And in one of the most lopsided, disrespectful games in recent memory. But they did win that game. So the 49, I'm about to say the 49ers, the Falcons, the Panthers, and the Buccaneers are all teams gunning at the Saints. And they're going to use the draft. They're going to use the wide receiver signings. A couple of those teams have a little bit more cap money than we have. So they're going to be really judicious in finding a way to be able to try to mount that division again. Remember, the 3 years is usually the limit before it switches hands. And if the Saints want to maintain that power advantage, they're going to have to be really smart in this period. And we have Jeff Ireland. I'm really super confident in Jeff Ireland. I'm super confident in Mickey Loomis's ability to graft contracts, to kind of push the money down into the future to help the team in the current. And of course, the mindset of the team. And I've asked the question, I posed it to the Great Saints Think Tank and the Sports Coma family members early in the show, and then toward the middle of the show was the fact that what is the mindset of the team going into the free agency and in the draft? You know, is this a Super Bowl or bust year? And what would your vote be on that? Would you say the addition, the re-signing of Drew Brees, and of course the obvious re-signing of Taysom Hill, because I think the Saints are definitely going to re-sign Taysom Hill, bringing those guys back for us, is it a Super Bowl or bust mentality? Even though that has not been said yet, but I'm saying you have to have a certain mindset in place if you're going to address coming to the offseason. What is the mindset of the Saints? Is it to build toward the future, or is it a Super Bowl and bust year or bust year? You know what I'm saying? Would chime in the family members, on all the family members in the chat. Please hit the like button, family. And also let me know what your thought process is in this. What do you guys think? Do you think it's a Super Bowl or bust year? Or do the Saints go into this year with the mentality of building toward the future? What is your thought process? Kevin says, absolutely Super Bowl or nothing. Scoop says, 504, they should hand me lights so I could change the blue lines in the top of the stadium. Devin says, definitely. Okay. Tyra says, it's Super Bowl or nothing. Thank you, Tyra. Appreciate you. Also, thank you for your birthday well wishing. Thank you, Tyra. Appreciate you. Increase. And she says, happy birthday, Q. May God add and increase and multiply. Thank you. Same to you, Tyra. You know what they say, what you wish for others comes to you. So all those great well wishes and success may it come back to you in triplicate. Thank you. Kevin says, if they don't win it this year, I'm spanking somebody. Super Bowl or bust, baby. That should be the mentality of the team. All right, Fab, thanks for calling Sports Coma. Who I'm speaking with?
What's going on, man? Trail.
I'm sorry, brother. You a little low. What's your name?
Hello, you getting better now?
You're still a little low. What's your name again? Trail Hatch?
Yeah.
Okay, I got you, Trail. All right, my brother. How you doing tonight, bro?
Man, I'm blessed, man. How about yourself?
Say, bro, I'm talking to the greatest black and gold family members in the world, bro. I'm doing fantastic, bro.
Oh, hey, man. I love it, man. I barely can catch you when I can, but when I can, man, you make my weekend. I tell you that.
Appreciate you,
I
Trail,
tell
bro.
you that. Man, listen, I want to chime in, man, and return your last call when you was talking about Taysom and have you ever seen the movie Rudy?
Long time ago.
Rudy, right?
Yeah, I remember Rudy, yeah.
And Rudy was one of them kids that he didn't have all the good tendencies that the other guys, but he went out there, he brought it. He brought it in practice.
Right.
You know where I'm going? He brought it. He brought swagger. He brought toughness. He just brought it. And if you mad, then go out there and do something about it.
Right.
You know, if you want to keep him on the sideline, do something about it. The receivers dropping balls last year. You can't run routes. You can't do that. Do something about it. You know, the running backs. At times you could just cough on them and they fall. This guy was taking the whole defense with him. Do something about it. You know, do something about it.
Right.
I mean, if them guys was upset that he was getting too much rep, hey, do something about it. Go out there and do something about it. Because he was showing toughness to me. He was showing swag.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what we needed. But, you know, and that's just, I wanted to just chime in on that part. They need to do, besides Michael Thomas, you know, hey, the rest of them, y'all guys need to do something about that. If y'all want him to stay on the sideline, show up. That way,
that's a great point.
Sean Payton can't do that.
That's a great point, Trail. That's a great point.
You know,
if you don't like it, step your ass up and play better. Stay practice longer. Hit that jug machine, catch it. You know, step your game up. Right. I like that.
And that's the only thing, you know, I wanted to say about that, because the guy did his thing, man, and if we're waiting for Uncle Drew, you know, and I ain't want to put it all on Drew, but I mean, that former hurt, that guy was about to take us to the Super Bowl with that one play when he just showed that much heart and toughness. He was not willing to give up. So just on that part there, bro, this is what I really wanted to call in. Is we rebuilding or we reloading this year? This year here. We sign we're gonna bring Drew Brees back. Is we reloading or is we gonna rebuild? It got to be one of the other, because we can't think of you know, trying to rebuild and you gotta which one you gonna do? It's Super Bowl year.
Yeah.
You know, we need some veteran leadership on this team. We need to go back to this blueprint with this old Super Bowl team we had and look at the veterans we brought in. We brought in a lot of good guys that was like leadership roles. They was, you know, they wasn't the best athletes, but it counted. It counted and it counted. And I think this year, that's what we need to find out, is we need to go out there and get guys that's going to come to this team, veteran leadership guys, and bring it. Because we can't keep thinking of rebuilding or reloading and thinking through the draft. Man, we got to bring it. If this going to be Drew last year, and we're going to spend this kind of money on Drew, it got to count for something. It got to count for something.
That's true. All or nothing, huh?
Yeah, I don't see Drew, you know, and I'm hoping Drew try to take a little pay cut, you know, do a little break or something. I don't see that going on. I don't see that happening. And that's the thing the front office should have been asking Drew is, hey, man, you here for the accolades and the records and the money, or you here to win a Super Bowl? Because if you here to win a Super Bowl, we need this pay cut. You know, we need this. Because we got to send you off. And we're going to send you off. You're going to need the funds to send off, because everybody want to win a ring. But in the NFL, you already know how the game goes. Ain't nothing guaranteed.
I mean, you got a point, Trell. Keep it going, cuz.
You know, my thing is with it is just like, and I understand we want to go through the draft and we want to get lucky with it, but to me, this is why I was so big against not bringing Drew Brees back. Because if we were going to just be rebuilding, then let's just go and let Drew Brees lead. We don't need him back this year. We can try to keep Teddy or Taysom or whatever we going to do and take this money and split it around. See, my thing is with Drew, as far with Drew Brees, it's going to be hard to be talking about dictating money and this and that until you find out what Drew about to do first. For his cap-wise, for his money-wise, and what he wants this year. Then that's when you know who you can spread the money around to. You know, we can't do that same thing if we talking about Super Bowl year, letting Von Bell get away. You can't do that. You got to keep some of them guys here. You can't just, everybody, I mean, some people against Eli. If he coming back at a nice price, I'm keeping Eli. I'm keeping him because you got to look at the market. Do they got cornerbacks out there that can match his production out there? Because you're going to go sign another cornerback, probably what you saving about $1 million or $2 million, or you could have just went ahead and gave it to him. So with me, it starts with Drew, and we got to find out where Drew's mind frame at money-wise. And is you going to give us a hometown discount because you want a Super Bowl just as well as we do? Is you going to bend down a little bit and give us this break we need to try to get the pieces we need? Because I think we need impact players. I don't want to keep playing with all these little mediocre guys, all these little trying to find Jim all in the right. We need impact players. That defense, that defense, out of the last 3 years, it murdered us in some situations. We couldn't stop a nickel. We couldn't stop nothing. And even with the year we talking about with the Rams and the referees and all this, we still went in overtime, and we still couldn't stop them. So to me, it comes down to where we need to focus on getting players in here that's going to try to get this chip this year. Then we'll worry about next year, about all the rebuild. We'll worry about all that next year. If I had to give away draft picks this year or first one, if it's going to bring in some impact players, I'm doing it. Man, we need another DE. We need somebody bringing pressure on the opposite side of Jordan. Jordan can't do it all game long by himself. We need another cornerback. I'm keeping Jenkins. I'm not letting Jenkins go. Because if it's going to be a Super Bowl year and you're keeping Drew Brees and you're keeping him for that kind of money, hey, this that year where you say, hey, man, we just got to go all out. We'll just figure out everything next year. If not that, then what was the purpose of bringing Drew back?
Right.
That's my thing. What you think?
You make great points there, Trell, man. One after the other, bro. The obvious fact that this is definitely a situation where the Saints have to group Drew, complement Drew with as many pieces as they possibly can. Of course, they're dealing with issues monetarily speaking before they have to restructure. Of course, I think they'll free up at least anywhere between 12 to 20 million, depending on where they go in terms of contracts on the team. They could free up chunks of money, renegotiate his deal. Janoris Jenkins, I heard what my dog Scoop said. Janoris Jenkins is a guy I think they can keep on the team. They just rework his deal a bit and free up that money. And I don't want to see too much turnover. I think Janoris Jenkins is a good compliment for Marshawn Lattimore. They definitely will have to address needs and bring in veterans in the safety spot, in the cornerback, the nickel position to come in. They might go in the draft and get a guy that can help them. But you talking about a Super Bowl year, the Saints are going to rely heavily, in getting veterans in here like they did, after the back end of free agency when they signed a lot of these guys like Sylvester Williams and Clavion Webster. And guys like that, then you of course DJ Swearinger, they guys like that they brought in here. You're gonna count on veterans like that with league minimum deals, cheap deals, to help with the veteran experience of the team. I think Sean Payton's learned that lesson over the last several years of trusting young players in position, i.e. Marcus Williams, i.e. Dan Arnold. Players like that who a lot of the old coaches would tell you that a rookie represents a loss if you're going into a playoffs because they don't have that experience, and so on and so forth. But the Saints definitely have to give Drew every advantage. And 2 years, and he's been hurt both years. We can't rely on him because when he got hurt, and there was no pass rush to help Cam Jordan from either Trey Hendrickson or Carl Granderson or Mario Edwards Jr. That is a spot that they must address some kind of way, whether it's Robert Quinn through free agency or some guy through the draft. The defensive backfield is most certainly an area of concern. You're most certainly right about that. And possibly if they're going to sign anybody back, maybe if you have to choose between Avon Bell or David Onyemata, I like to try to fortify the interior of the defensive line with Onyemata and offer him a contract if he'll come back. But I also like Shai Teller and Ty Starwood, but David Onyemata is a guy that's showing you that he could be something big for you. So, it's a series of things that we have to consider here. But in the end, you're absolutely right about Drew Brees. Bringing him back means this is an opportunity to go all out. And whatever happens on the back end happens. And we'll see, what the future look like. But you're right. This is definitely a year. Sean Payton and Drew Brees wants a Super Bowl, and they're going to try to make a run at it.
That's my own. And I'm even when I heard Stephen A. say that at one point, we got to start looking at Sean Payton. Me, I agree with a little bit with him, and I don't get wrong. I like Sean, man. Sean a good coach, but sometimes I think you just be too like. I think sometimes you just overdo it, like you just really overdo it. And even when it comes down, and I trust the front office, but I think too when it comes to players' decisions, I think sometimes you can just really overdo it, and you can really sometimes like if you got this, like for example with Dez, I don't see Dez can't command that kind of money. And everybody would say, well, he don't look this way. He don't look. I remember the Super Bowl year when they went and got guys like Bobby McCray. They thought them guys' careers was over with. And them guys came there to New Orleans and made huge strides.
That's true.
Mike McKenzie. I remember that guy coming with the middle of the season. And, I mean, the guys who they thought was gone. Remember Randall Gay from LSU? Remember they brought him in and played nickel.
That's right, Randall Gay. Yep.
Huge. I'm talking about huge. These guys made huge factor plays. So, I'm like, a lot of teams would have done that love. And they didn't think he was going to do what he did in Dallas. And what he kept doing, he just kept making plays. Sometimes when you bring in the right chemistry with that right team, man, it could be something special. But you just gotta take chances. You just gotta trust the guys that you got leading the locker room. Man, everybody would love to come play for Drew. Everybody. Man, if this is making and breaking, I'm bringing out. I'm going to eat AB to everybody. I'm being honest with you. It gets your Super Bowl year. I'm going to get all them guys, man. I'm pulling out all the tricks because this year, this Minnesota loss to me personally hurted me more than all other losses.
Yeah, it was a tough pill to swallow, no doubt about it. Yeah, real tough pill.
Yeah, this one, and the way we lost this one here, this one to me it hurted more, I think, than any other last losses. And it's just my opinion because this was supposed to be that year. And the way we lost it, and then to see at the end of the game how we lost that game, when we just could not stop. It started with a bomb down the field. It was like we could not stop these guys. And me, man, I'm just saying, I'm a hang up and chime in with you. But me, I think we need to go impact players. I don't think we need to be messing around with all these gadget guys. Go get what we need. This is going to be the year we bring Drew Brees back. And, that's all I kind of want to do. I'm just going to hang up and chime in with y'all guys. But, hey, man, who that nation, man, we going to continue to believe.
Appreciate you, Trell. Who that to you, dog. Thanks for those great comments and points, bro.
All right, man. All right, my man.
Peace. That's Trell Hatch, man. Big ups to Trell, man, bringing some good points to the family and dropping his point of view as well, man. That was pretty good, man. Like I said, a lot of great food for thought from all the great family members joining us. GM Kevin was in the building. The historian Paul, my dog Scoob, and Trell Hatch, man, dropping some knowledge on the family. Who that to the family members joining us in the chat as well. Big ups to Ricky Jones, Tramal Kellop. What up, Trawl? What up, Tramal? My dog Tramal in the building. What up, Tramal? Good to see you, fam. And the rest of the family members chiming in as well. I think I said a shout out already to Jerome and the rest of the family chiming in the chat. James Taylor, what happening, James? What's going on? Who that to your family as well? So that's a great thing. Kevin said impact players. Well, this is the thing. He make a great point about Randall Gay. He put some names out there, bro, that the people that really helped the Saints, man, get to that next level. You know what I'm saying? Randall Gay came and played the slot for the Saints pretty well for him. Randall Gay out of LSU. He did well for the Saints. He mentioned Bobby McCray. Remember McCray came in as a third situational pass rusher. He helped out as well. He dropped some really good names. Now, remember, you had some of these guys, that came in to help the black and gold. It didn't cost a lot of money to bring these guys in, but they fit a certain need. And I think it's the same thing with the Saints. And we'll be able to free up enough money to be able to address the needs. Remember, we have enough to get us into the playoffs. With the running game, we could have got as far as the NFC Championship game. But if you have a series of weapons that the defenses cannot address for every weapon, it becomes just that easy. And I think a portion of that is that the Saints have to address those needs as well. Taysom Hill is a wrinkle that a lot of teams are interested in seeing, but still in all, how impactful and how effective the Saints offense would look if they had players that was showing up, making the catches, that was stretching the field, guys like that. Then you had the wrinkle that Taysom Hill provides, the spark plug play as it were, to come in and help out. I think that's all very interesting. But 26 wins in the last 2 seasons, but getting ousted in the playoffs the way you have, should be food for thought. Because what is going on in the playoffs that is costing us to lose these games? You win in 13 games in the regular season in back-to-back years, but yet and still you can't seem to get over the hump in the playoffs. Why? What's going on in the playoffs? What's happening in the playoffs? You know? Or do we need to stifle up that defense? The back end of the Saints defense, the secondary, is really in a state of flux right now. Von Bell is not going to be there. Marcus Williams has good numbers, but he's enigma at times. The depth situation with the safeties, and then you have Marshawn Lattimore, and then you have a high price Jack Rabbit, and then there's Patrick Robinson, and there's nothing else. So the Saints will have to address and bring in new players there to address the defense, the secondary, the cornerbacks, then maybe the nickel and the dime positions. In depth there, I know one of those will probably be a draft pick. But really importantly, truly importantly, the Saints most certainly need to add another pass rusher. A third pass rusher to complement Davenport and Cam Jordan. And maybe if you're going to spend some money in free agency, maybe it should be for that. Because you can get a slot man. And Keith Kirkwood is an interesting commodity because when healthy, he does provide you your best slot man. He catches the ball across the middle. He's a big receiver. He has some speed to him. And when healthy, he does provide you with a surefire weapon in the interior. He can play the slot position. But, like I say, where are you going to go? We still need to find these things, and we need to flip up these things, look at why we losing in the playoffs as much as we do. And we need to improve upon it. We did good with the depth. Last year, we able to do some stuff, but the secondary, man, I tell you what, the secondary, man, that's my key concern in terms of the Saints defense moving ahead. But I think we'll be all right. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's get some more comments from the families in the chat to see some of the family members chiming in. Any questions out there? The family members. 504 Easy says there's no better impact players than the 2017 draft. We've been putting players around Breeze. 985 J says, who we taking in the fight? Q. I got Deontay Wilder, bro. Of course, that fight should be coming up here momentarily. I'm about to end the stream in not too long. I know the fight is approaching. And that's one of my things that I did say is that I was going to watch the Deontay Wilder fight. We previewed it on Ring King Boxing last night with key commentator Eddie Too Mean Johnson, who's a former boxer, one of my longtime friends. I've been knowing Too Mean for over 20 years. And he's the key contributor on the Ring Kings Boxing. That's all the boxing show. You can listen to it via Spreaker and Spreaker.com/thesportscoma, or you can just put it in the search section of the YouTube box for Ring Kings Boxing World. And we have commentary on that as well. But Deontay Wilder is my guy. Deontay Wilder, I respect the hell out of Tyson Fury. But Tyson Fury, and we covered it in the fight, he needs to get busy. But there is no match for Deontay Wilder's power. And even though Tyson got up off the mat, it was a late count. Deontay even said that. But he's a different type of dude. He has unbelievable knockout power, and there's not a heavyweight in the game that can stand up with that kind of power. So it's only a matter of time before he put Tyson Fury to sleep. That's just my commentary on it. Little boxing stuff. But thank you for the question, fam. Verlin says, Laddie Jenkins Johnson. Leslie Tramal says, died a second time, bro. We had to cancel the parade. Oh, parade's canceled. Ernest says, money doesn't matter tonight in my Prince voice. Let's see. Paul says, where will Malcolm Brown will we do on the D-line rotation next season? Malcolm should start. Sheldon Rankins. David Onyemata, truth be told, is not coming back. I can see them going with a cheaper option. Shy Tuttle, they like Shy Tuttle, Taylor Stallworth. Those guys are cheaper options. Then Mario Edwards Jr. still at $2 million. So David Onyemata probably will definitely be similar to Andrews Pete, priced out of here. Saints will have to address these positions in the undrafted market. As far as the offensive line position, the Saints will probably take maybe an offensive lineman. You have to kind of resituate the draft. Now, I did do another mock draft. I'll be releasing it Monday. The latest, the second mock draft part 2 that I did, And I did keep in mind the fact that Drew Brees is on the team, so we kind of did the mock a little differently, but it'll be available on Monday for the family members to view on the channel, so be on the lookout for that as well. Tramal says, if we talking about Brees, I'm not excited. 504 Easy says, we've had a great locker room the last 3 years. Kevin says, too late, they signed him. James says, what happened at the parade? Okay, they're just talking about the parade. Tramal says, Luma's been letting Brees hinder the Saints' salary cap for a few years. The organization knows that Drew Brees doesn't believe in pay cuts. So if there's anything that the Saints going to do, they'll probably do a 2-year deal where they kind of space his money into the future. Similar to like how they did AJ Klein when they spaced his money into the future with like phantom years, which he won't play, but it's just a way to kind of push money into the future so it don't impact the team right now. And the Saints have been getting away with it because they've been getting great value from their draft picks. They've been drafting so well and getting so much higher value from their draft picks that they have not been overpaying that much in free agency. Even when you got a guy like Malcolm Brown and Latavius Murray, guys that are young players that can be productive, they didn't break the bank. Didn't break the bank at all. So, you know, you might have a few snubs of players that you signed that didn't work out for you, like a Patrick Robinson, who they gave all that money to and he just didn't work out. And then, you know, guys like Feeney and all, you know, all that kind of, what's his name? I forgot the sucker name, the tight end. But, you know, they had a few snubs, but not that many. You know, the last one I can really think that they had issues, and that's really wasn't because of them. If he was healthy, I think he would have been made an impact at the slot position, and that's Cameron Meredith. They've been trying to address the slot position. They really have, if you think about it. Cameron Meredith was supposed to be the slot man, and they gave him a good contract to get him from Chicago. The guy just couldn't stay healthy. If he would have been healthy, he'd have performed well for the Saints. He could have actually helped out that position. Then another guy that, you know, Keith Kirkwood was a guy that came on to play that position as well. If he could stay healthy, they can get somebody cheaper. So we'll find out just how things go. Ricky Jones says, insanity, the same quarterback, same results. Actually, it was worse this year than the prior year. I'm nervous, Q. Say it with me, George. This said, Joe Burrow, it won't happen. Ricky, I understand, bro. I know I would love to see Joe Burrow wearing that Saints jersey. I just don't see it happening. I think it will be different because it'll be a certain air of desperation around the team because they know it's Drew Brees, the Hall of Famer, going out. So the team will be put together with that mindset, like a do or die mentality. Like it's finality here. It's not like we'll get them next year. It's like here and now we stand, we got to make it happen. And I think that's something that will air over the team when the mini camps and all that start. They're going to know that Drew Brees is his final year and that this is either Super Bowl or bust. We got to get it done. The truth be told, if the Saints don't draft a quarterback in the draft, you know, they can always address it via free agency the following year because it might be one of those situations where that is Taysom Hill. But we'll see exactly where it is with Taysom Hill. You know, if the Saints will do a Teddy Bridgewater, if they believe in him, then they'll sign him to a multi-year deal, which he'll be here for the next 2 or 3 years. Should be at least a 3-year deal on Taysom Hill. If you see a 1-year deal from Taysom Hill, best believe they're about to get rid of the Teddy Bridgewater. I'm just gonna keep it real with you, because they want him here because of everything that he do outside of the quarterback position, which is not a good sign for you as a quarterback. I'm just keeping it real with you. Jose Calderon says, is Trey Hendrickson healthy? Trey Hendrickson is healthy, just was not impactful when we needed him. That's why I say the defensive end position. And plus, he got 1 more year left on him. Trey Hendrickson plays, but he missed a lot of time last year. And I'm just tired of that, man. We need somebody that's going to be there, that's going to play. Maybe Granderson will step up and play. They had Noah Spence they brought in, and he was absolutely a no-show. They didn't do a damn thing with him. I don't even know why they signed him. But at the end of the day, the Saints have to get a pass rusher. I would say get a veteran guy. Kevin's mentioned Robert Quinn. I like that call. Leonard Williams. I like that call. Saints was trying to get Leonard Williams some years ago. And if he's available, I say, why not? You need somebody. You need at least 3 really good rotational defensive ends. In case somebody gets hurt or tired, you need that. And I've been yelling that. But when Davenport went down, they had no production from that other side. And that showed telling when the playoffs started, they could not get pressure from the other side of the line opposite of Cam Jordan. And that was a major detriment to the defense. Scoop says Jerry Rice was known more for yaks than deep ball catches. Kevin says Corey Littleton available, speed, can cover and hit. I like the Littleton call. He's a tall guy, very fast and mean too. I like that. But you pair him next to a guy. You got Caden Ellis and Demario Davis. Interesting. I like those. All of Kevin's calls, the Robert Quinns, the Leonard Williams, the Corey Littletons. Those guys make good sense. It's just would you be able to get him here on a good deal? Ernest Adams G says, begin shoring up the defense now. There is not another Drew Brees ready to fill in behind center. Keep the defense stable while the offense is restructured under the new shot caller. Thank you, Ernest. Appreciate that. Paul said, yeah, Q, the Colts won the Super Bowl with a poor secondary, but we're good elsewhere. Pass rushers, extraordinary, good pass rushing, good guys at the Dwight Freeneys and the Mathises and those kind of guys. If you can get pressure from your front four, it can mask a lot of ailments with the defense. It really can. And that should be the thing the Saints really focus on, getting another pass rusher to go with Davenport and come at people with waves. You can either do the NASCAR package where you put the other pass rusher along with Cam and Davenport in there and then let them go and go get them. It's just one of the things, but the pass rushing is something the Saints got to address. They got to get at least one guy, and you don't have to pay a bunch of money for him. But a Robert Quinn, a guy like that, would definitely help. Dada says Minnesota DE will be a free agent, and number 97 could be a good across from Cam. Number 97, that's Danielle Hunter. That's who you're talking about? Or Everson? Is that Everson Griffin? I think that's Danielle Hunter you talking about, Dada. He gonna command big dollars. Although I would love to have him down here. They comparing Davenport. Could you imagine having Hunter and Davenport? It's crazy, man. You have them two dudes on the same team. That'll be absolutely amazing. I would absolutely love that. If the Saints could afford that, that would be spectacular. Of course, he would start over top of Davenport. That you don't put him behind Davenport. He's better than Davenport, so that will provide an interesting scenario there. And let's keep it going here. Jose says, Scoob, they ran a West Coast offense. That's why, like we do, I guess is why you said you had. Okay, I see it. Ernest says that boy said he would take Mike Tyson in his prime. No, ain't nowhere in the world. If Deontay Wilder said he could take Mike Tyson in his prime, nowhere in the world that's going to happen. Mike Tyson in his prime would get up under Deontay Wilder and punish his body. That was what Tyson was good at. That's what the head movements for and getting up under. Deontay Wilder punch. He's 6'7". These are massive heavyweights. The other guy he's fighting, Tyson Fury, is 6'9". And Deontay Wilder punching down at Mike Tyson. Tyson ducking just enough to get up under him and get into his body. And once he got to the body, he'll fold Deontay Wilder like a lawn chair. He'll break him down once he got up under him. And that's all it would take. So I don't see him. No, ain't no way in the world he could take. If Deontay Wilder said he could take Mike Tyson his prime, he smoking something bad and he need to cut it out, because Mike Tyson made a career beating bigger fighters, taller fighters. He get up under you and punish you, and then break you down. And once they go down and they ain't fighting tall, that's why Lennox Lewis. You watch him fight Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis was 6'5", fighting Mike Tyson. And Lennox Lewis was punching down. He had to learn to keep Mike Tyson away from him. Mike gets anywhere near you, it's over with. It's over with, because he had punching. He had everything Mike hit you with hurt. He had power in both hands, not in just one. He could take a hit, and he was a vicious body puncher. And that's something that Mike, and then he would break Deontay down. That just, if you put Tyson in his prime against Deontay Wilder in his prime, Mike Tyson all damn day. Who that to you? Kelvin Washington. I see you, fam. Kelvin, what up? Kelvin, I ain't even see you in there, brother. Big ups to you. And you're right. I hope somebody like McKinley from Alabama or Delpit fall to the Saints to get, man, I would love to have Grant Delpit on this team. Or either McKinley, the box safety. Those guys they're way better safety than Marcus Williams is. They can see a lot more than them, and they don't take stupid angles, and they don't break down in pressurous situations. Let's see. Jerome said, do you think somebody's going to offer 93 more than $8 million? 93, talking about Onyemata? More than $8 million? I'm not certain on that. Probably not. Ricky Jones says, yo, Joe, LOL, real American heroes fighting. This is Joe Burrow, man. Jim Scott, who that to you? Jimmy says Sean didn't start Ransom over Teddy because he would have to change the whole offense to a dual threat offense. The truth of the matter is, even if he had to change it to a dual threat offense, Teddy Bridgewater can also run and scramble as well. Taysom Hill was going through his progressions and would have definitely been able to deliver the ball and throw the ball as well. He was doing really well in preseason. But my thing is, if Sean Payton had enough confidence in a young man to play him, but that's why Teddy Bridgewater was there as a bridge, so to speak, anyway. So I agree with you. It might have been a little too much for him to do the offense as well. But you know how the offense looked with Teddy Bridgewater in there and versus Drew Brees in there is because you've seen balance. You've seen Sean Payton goes back to running the damn ball. And that's something that he was forced to do because he knew Teddy didn't know all offense. He couldn't allow him to do it. He had to do it. Now, when Drew Brees is in there, he let the offense go unbalanced. And he cool with it. Let Drew go unbalanced. And we'll get away with it. But far too often you gamble like that, that's when you lose big. You can't go in the playoffs. Look at the playoff games that happened in the NFC. The NFC teams were advancing because they were able to run the football. They played defense and they ran the football and took the clock away from their opponent. Sean Payton wouldn't dare do that. He going there with his stupid ass trying to throw the ball over the field. Screw a clock. I'm gonna throw the ball and I'm gonna make your defense ain't good enough to or deep enough to play that level, to play that fast game and get a ball back to your adversary without eating the clock. You know, and many times the Saints were going 3 and out, just throwing the ball, not even running the ball, going 3 and out and putting your defense out on there. That didn't make any sense. That didn't make no sense to me. That's why the principles are fundamental. It don't change when you get in the playoffs. The reason why the Saints are losing in the playoffs is because the fundamentals are breaking down. And Sean Payton isn't doing what is necessary as a head coach to get his team prepared and sticking with the fundamentals, which mean running the football and using the run to throw the ball. The run makes the pass more effective because it's all about deception, right? If you don't know if I'm a pass or run, I have an advantage. But most teams know that the Saints are going to throw most of the time, and they just lay back in the cut. They take shots at Drew because they used to most of the time. Ain't nobody back there blocking. He's standing up there by himself throwing the ball, and he gets knocked and pushed around. So Sean Payton has to change that philosophy. The last 3 years, he going into the playoffs thinking he could beat teams any kind of way, like he wants to beat them. Or I'm going to beat him in my style of defense. That's how he lost to Zimmer in the Minnesota game. That's why he lost to Shanahan in the 49er game. It's ego involved. He got a big head and a big head and a big ego. And he can't do that kind of stuff because he's putting his ego ahead of the team. And that's why I have a problem with Sean Payton. He knows just as well as you and everybody in here know that you're supposed to run that ball to create balance for your offense. So why isn't he doing it? The pure outright arrogance is why he don't run the ball, because I'm gonna beat these teams the way my offense run it. I ain't gonna change it. That's a dead dinosaur ass mentality, because everybody changes their playbooks from year to year. You don't go into the playoffs until the next season with the same playbook that you had from the prior year. You take certain plays that work for you, but you have to innovate. That's what keeps certain teams on cutting edge and other teams not. Now, if you can't be cutting edge and you can't innovate, then prepare to lose and lose badly, because people will figure you out and you will get beat. You have to go back to the fundamentals of football, which is running the ball and operating the pass off the run to create the deception. This dude is so egotistical and so off balance and so offset that he's going play action on plays without even running the ball. Who gonna fall for that? But this dude is a genius. You think the guy that he coaching against the defensive squad, say, this dude running play action plays and he ain't even established the run yet. He think we stupid. I mean, what sense that make? Even biddy ball and playground coaches know that you can't run play action without establishing the run first. Come on, this is fundamental stuff for football 101. To make your passing attack more effective, you have to effectively run the football. Then it will make the passing offense a lot better. Everybody know that. That's football 101. So why your coach don't know that? Why the genius coach don't know that? Come on now. Because there's ego involved here, and he don't want nobody to tell him that. But that's all right. Too bad. If you don't like it, too bad. Scratch your ass and get glad, because we're going to be here in your chest telling you 8 ways from Tuesday, 3 or 4, 5 times a week if we have to run the damn ball. You know, it's just what it is. It gets me kind of upset because the playoffs breaking down to running the football. The Vikings were beat by the Niners because they effectively ran the football. They ran the football, dominated the clock, and beat them easily. That was the report. That was the scouting report the Saints got to do to beat the Vikings. Sean Payton said, screw that report. I'm going to just throw at them and do what I'm going to beat them the way I want them doing. Look what happened. That wasn't the fact that they couldn't stop the run. They had the opportunity to run the ball as impactfully. You had your boy up there, Latavius Murray, who had 5 carries for 20-something yards. You're averaging almost 5 yards a carry. Why you ain't give him 12 carries or 15 carries against his former team? What kind of fool are you? But you're going to sit up there and watch during the game your team falling through the floor, going down in a burning airplane. But you don't do nothing. You don't change nothing. Don't run nothing. Just stupid. Stupid. 4th down, then do an in around on 4th down. Explain that one to me. How do you do an in around, a reverse on 4th and 1 in a playoff game against a fast defense that's going sideline to sideline? Make sense of that. That's not no genius doing that. That's stupid ego plays that you're trying to embarrass somebody with. And guess what? The guy embarrassed your ass and marched you out of there because you're a clown for doing that. But he still don't understand, still don't want to mention it, but that's all right. We're going to keep it real. The papers don't want to talk about it. That's why we keep gaining steam and talking about it, because it's the truth. They don't want to lambaste these dudes because they too busy kissing their ass. But I don't need to kiss your ass, Sean Payton, and none of y'all, because y'all get y'all money from us. If anything, you going to kiss our ass if that's the kind of stuff that's going on out there. Because the fan base is the reason why you have a job here and why the team is here. And if it wasn't for us, the power starts with us, not with your ass. So if you don't know that, we're going to make you understand that. We're going to make you understand to listen to what we say and how and what goes on, because it's the truth. The power don't go with them. They don't have the money from nothing. They get the money from you. We all know that. That's how the buildings, the lights get paid in the Superdome. You think they writing checks for the power and the water and all that kind of stuff, even though they take it all and put it in their pocket. Which, in truth be told, in the fair world, we should all get a percentage of that, because all our taxes is going to that. We should be getting checks from all of this stuff, from the tourism revenue and all that. Don't tell me about how much the city made and I ain't getting no goddamn money from it, man. What sense that make for me? If they making that kind of $4 or $5 billion off the city, then you should be cutting these taxes down way, way down. Because you make it $5-6 billion a year. I ain't gonna get into my financial spiel, but it's just the reality at the end of the day. Some of it's sucker game, man, and I ain't no chump. I ain't no sucker, you know. Anyway, let's keep it moving, family. Let's see. Let's keep it football here. Ernest says Teddy beat Taysom out for the second QB position, yet so many people won't Taysom over Teddy because of a few plays in the playoff game. The Saints lost. Shaking my head. It's the Teddy enigma, the disrespect. That's all right. That's why he gone, bro. You know, the people don't. I seem to be the only one, us in the Great Saints think tank, that's saying about Sean Payton lying to people. Sean Payton lied that he deceived Teddy Bridgewater. He could have told him, listen, man, just sign. He could have let him go to Miami and take that fat contract. He took a break to come back to the Saints because Sean Payton told him he'll take the reins once Drew Brees retired. Then when the time come, all of a sudden, it's unrealistic for us to bring all 3 of them back. For real? And you sitting your goof ass up there and you know already who you going to bring back, but you're going to pretend like you don't, it's unrealistic. Like all 3, what ones are not coming back then? All 3 back. You know you're going to bring Hill back and Breeze back. See that kind of stuff? I don't like that kind of stuff. Just say what you mean. Ain't no need for you to play games because you're going to sign them anyway. That's what kind of stuff I don't like. I just don't like. Anyway, let's see. Tyra and the rest of them agreeing. She says, Scoop says Sean Payton on his way. Paul says Sean Payton motivational aspects not very good. An open date most of the time means a loss next game for the Saints. How is that even possible if you're a genius? How your teams fall off the fence that much in a bye week, like what happened against the Atlanta game, or the extended bye when we came off the win against Atlanta the second time to get ready for the 49ers and then lose the game because, according to Sean Payton, we got caught up in the flow of the game, which basically means his ego got carried away. And instead of doing what he was supposed to do fundamentally to beat the 49ers, he was trying to outdo Shanahan with his offense going at him. He got caught up in the flow. See, he can't keep it real, man. And he full of lies. He can't keep it real. And I'm constantly out there even if he was to tell the truth and just say, you know what, that's on me. I shouldn't have got that emotional. I was trying to beat that man out there because we got a rivalry. He could have kept it real, but he's such a fake politician at times that it just makes me just want to tear at you. I got to tear at you because you're full of it. These teams weren't better than the Saints. It was the fact that you did the worst thing you could possibly do, put your ego above the team while yelling at the team, the play as a team, and you're a hypocrite for doing that. That's why they couldn't beat the Vikings. That's why they lost to the 49ers. That's why they keep falling through the floor in these playoff games, because they get up to the point where the coach got to exhibit certain disciplines and qualities to operate a balanced attack, and he keep failing constantly. In the regular season, you're facing teams that don't have it together. In the playoffs, you got teams that got it together, and they're the elite of the elite in the playoffs, and the Saints keep falling short year after year, and that's because of the discipline of the coach to be able to keep his team focused on the task at hand. That's what it's about. You can't blame no other player. You have to blame the coach. People want to tad Drew Brees. They want to tad this guy, that guy, and there's all these guys. The reality at the end of the day, the team is at the behest of the coach. The coach has to show up and he has to be disciplined. The coach has to have the game plan together and have his team on one accord. The Saints were arguing with each other in the Minnesota Vikings game. They were tearing at each other in the Minnesota Vikings game. This dude looked like he was on Prozac the whole game, standing up there melancholy while his team falling through the floor in the playoffs. There was no sense of urgency until the last 5 minutes of the game, and they couldn't even operate a 2-minute offense effectively to win the game. Stop me when I'm wrong here. It all is tied to the coach. And as you can talk about Drew, he's a Hall of Famer. You could talk about Elvin. He's going to be he's one of the top 5 best running backs in the league. We could talk about Mike. He's one of the best. You could talk about all the talent that this team has on the defense, offense, and special teams. All you want. It's all about the coach. He has to focus at using his whole team to beat teams and not certain pieces of the team. You have to develop your entire team if you want to be a Super Bowl team. Not some jackass running around trying to beat Kyle Shanahan because he has a rivalry with him since he used to play against him with the Atlanta Falcons when he was the quarterback. The offensive coordinator of the Falcons. This history go back. Or Zimmer, the little beef that he got with Zimmer when he put his little emotional shit over the top of the team when they're supposed to be a team. It's all on the coach. They don't want to hear that shit, but too bad. It's the truth. It's all on the coach. And whether or not he can fix these mental issues and remain disciplined enough to stick to the principles of football, we're going to keep falling through the floor in the playoffs. Let's see, because this is a do or die year, which will bring a certain air of desperation, which he has to change. He has to look at his flaws in the design of his system and the things that he's been saying, because this is it. You got one more goal with your Hall of Fame quarterback, and if you can't get it right, you could be in trouble going into the future. So if you won't make a Super Bowl, this is the closest you're going to get for right now, which I think that they can. But the desperation aspect of it, he has to get his mind right to be able to be balanced. That's what I'm preaching. Balance. Preaching balance and running the ball, which improves your chances of making a pass. Run the ball. Like I keep saying it. Got t-shirts of the shit. Run the ball. Head coach, run the ball. Run the damn ball. Coffee mugs and shirts. Or get bounced again. 3 years running. But you're supposed to be a Super Bowl team. Got to get it together. We're going to get it together. But I'd like to thank the family members for joining us tonight. We're getting close enough to the fight. I wish I could. If the fight wasn't on tonight, y'all go another 2 hours with y'all talking to Saints. You know, I get my little moods here. But I'd like to thank all. Who that, Lance? I see you, fam. I see Lance say, run the alarm. And Tyra says, ring the alarm. Yeah, I was ringing that alarm that entire playoff game, family. And we woke Elvin Kamara out of his zombieism. We ran the alarm. Couldn't help Ted Ginn Jr. or Sean Payton, for that matter, to get his head out of his you-know-what. But anyway, I'd like to thank all the beautiful Black and Gold family members for joining me on tonight's stream. We had 3.5 hours. Another spectacular episode of Sports Coma. Listen, and I appreciate all of the people. School said no. I appreciate all the beautiful Black and Gold family members chiming in today. Man, thank you for the calls. Good to hear from my dog Scoob, Trail Hatch, the historian Paul, and General Manager Kevin called in tonight. Good to hear from the family members. A lot of great commentary, man. A lot of great thoughts from the Great Saints Think Tank. When you're looking for ideas and answers for problems and solution, turn on the Great Saints Think Tank. You know, we just hash it out, and I absolutely love it, man. I absolutely love it. But I'd like to thank all the family members for joining us tonight on the Sports Coma. And just to let the family members know that we also have, we do other shows that'll be available via YouTube or Spreaker, Spreaker.com. That's SPREAKER.com/The Sports Coma. Well, we have a roster of shows that we do outside of the Sports Coma. The Pelican Post Game Reports, a very exciting show. Tough Tiger Talk, where we talk everything LSU football and then even a little basketball. And of course, Ring King Boxing World, which we cover boxing commentary as well. Those are some of the things you can join. Spreaker.com/The Sports Coma to listen to the audio feeds, or you can find each of these channels on our YouTube roster as well. And also to let the family members know that the Sports Coma, to help support the Sports Coma, we also have the Sports Coma Pro Shop. The Pro Shop, that's right, the Pro Shop is the official store of the Sports Coma, which have several really great items available to sell. It's literally dozens, man. Dozens and dozens, hundreds of products, man. Hundreds of products, whether they hoodies, tees, onesies, all kind of wonderful stuff, as you can see pictures and whatnot. All that is available at the Pro Shop. All kind of stuff, man. It's just beautiful, man. All kind of great stuff is available at the Pro Shop. So if you want to check it out, you can go to the Pro Shop and check it out. The link is in the description section below. And you can see there are several new designs, over 30 different designs of gear on the Pro Shop. The We Are the Great Saints Think Tank shirt is available in several sizes and colors. Also, there's a new God is a Saints fan shirt. It's the Tough Tiger Talk Championship shirt, Tough Tiger Nation Stand Up, with the tiger with the crown on his head. And of course, then there is the Black and Gold Nation Stand Up shirt, several sizes, several colors, all available at the Pro Shop. So it's a lot of great stuff, man. Like a lot of great stuff is available at the Pro Shop. So you can feel free to go there and check it out. Hoodies, sweatshirts, all sizes, coffee mugs, wall art, bedding, smartphone cover cases for Apples, Androids, all kind of stuff. It's all available. Link in the description section. And remember, all the proceeds that the official store of the PRO Media Network and the Sports Coma get goes back into the platform to improve. Like I said, this is the Spreaker.com Pro Media Network page. You can go to the Sports Coma. You can head on Spreaker.com/the Sports Coma. Also, if you have iHeartRadio, the Sports Coma is available on everywhere there is podcasts. That's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, Castbox, everything. Deezer, the Sports Coma, and all of its affiliates are available on those platforms as well. And also, if you want to show some support for the show, you can feel free by joining us, becoming a patron of the show. What that simply means is that you sign up and donate either $1 or $5 or $10 or $20 every month to the platform, and that goes to empowering the platform as well as we continue to improve for more shows, more all kind of stuff. It just helps us out splendidly and excellently. There we have several really great family members that are members of the Patreon family. So if you want to become a Patreon champion, go to patreon.com. That's patreon.com/the PRO Media Network for more information. So I like to thank all the beautiful Black and Gold family members for chiming in as well today on this excellent live feed today, show number 91. And also just to remind the family too that might have missed the earlier portions of the show is that we have a sponsor, a new sponsor that'll be for this month into February, and for February and all of March is Remington Tax Solutions. Before I go, I want to give you Remington Tax Solutions a shout out for being a sponsor of the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys and the PRO Media Network. If you need any tax preparation work done, Remington Tax Solutions is a good business. trustworthy, effective, efficient, and a very capable and competent company. Really good. If you want more information on Remington Tax Solutions, the Sports Coma, Big Q and the guys, new sponsor, go to remingtontax.com. That's remingtontax.com. remingtontax.com for all your tax preparation needs. They do personal businesses and they have notary services. They also can help you set up your 501c3 if you're looking to get one of those set up. They take care of a bunch of stuff. They're cutting edge. You know, they deal with virtual tax services as well. Or if you need somebody to go over the phone, they do it all. Remington Tax Solutions, a really good company. They're Saints fans, so you know I got love for them off top. Big time Saints fans. Go to remingtontax.com. That's remingtontax.com for more information. So I'd like to thank all the beautiful family members for chiming in on this episode of Sports Coma. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. If you haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button. Who that to you? Jose, I see your family. Who that to you? Jermaine, I see you. Jermaine, big ups to you. Who that? Ramsey, I see you. Ramsey as well. Big ups family as well. Good to see y'all join the chat as well. Big ups to the family member. Kevin says still fire Gentry. They might make the playoffs now the way they starting to play. But anyway, thank the family members for joining. I'm going to get on this fight and watch this Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder fight number 2. It should be interesting. But thank your family members for joining us tonight. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Peace, and I'm out.
Yeah. Well, all right. Like Q always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. Number 1 sports talking D. We ain't like the Falcons. We won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies and the vets, players you should look at. It's the Sports Coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Peyton, New Orleans, who that nation. Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the Sports Coma, all we know is say Super Bowl. Yeah.